right. Good morning. Good morning. Wow, that's a good start. Good evening, everybody. ANC 5F will call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock on September 16th. We will start with a roll call. Commissioner Jones.
I do not see her online.
Okay. Commissioner Jones is not present. Commissioner Sani.
Present.
Commissioner Williams.
Do not see her online.
Commissioner Williams is not present. Commissioner Galvan, I am present. Commissioner Anderson.
Present.
Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Present.
And Commissioner Headland.
Present.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Jones is joined.
All right, Commissioner Jones, can you hear us? Are you present?
I'm here. Sorry.
Great, thank you so much. All right, we have 6 commissioners present out of 7. We have quorum, so we will move along with the agenda, the approval of the agenda. Item number 2. There are a couple of, I think there's a couple of late noticed items. Wanted to make sure we have those. The agenda is currently posted at anc5f.com under meetings and also on the main page. So I wanted to open it to other commissioners who wanted to potentially add anything to the agenda that isn't already noted there right now. So I'll open up the floor to any commissioners.
Let me start by, I'll move to add to the agenda all the late noticed items that are reflected in the agenda as it's currently posted, which I think is maybe the grant and the litter can resolution, but if I'm missing anything else, it's meant to be all encompassing.
Yep, okay. Great. Commissioner Bishop Henchman moves to add the grant and the resolution requesting litter can additions and restorations in Eckington. All right, do we have a second? Or do we have any adjustments? Yes,
amend
go ahead.
Motion to move the litter can restoration resolution to the action agenda. Just want to make a small edit.
Okay. All right, are there any objections? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll move the litter can to the action agenda. And the grant, I believe that was already in the action agenda as well. Okay.
Mr. Chair, to move the budget to the action agenda as well.
Okay, yes, the budget. All right, we will also add, Commissioner Bishop Henchman requests to add the budget to the action agenda as well. Are there any other additions for the agenda? Commissioner Jones, did you just email me on something to add to the agenda for tonight?
Not to add, just to add a detail and notify you that about the age-friendly DC. She just sent her slides and
Okay,
that was all.
no problem. We can post that. That's no problem. Okay, I'm just going to do this via voice vote. So just to repeat the plan, the motion is to add the grant, which was some items were slightly late noticed, the litter can, and the budget all to the action agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Bishop Henchman. Are there any objections? Hearing none, seeing none, that will be added to the agenda. Are there any other items? Last call. Hearing none, we'll just do a quick approval of the agenda by a roll call vote. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Great. Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams is not present. Commissioner Galvan, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
All right, great. In the eyes of the chair, the amended agenda has been approved. We will move on to the approval of the minutes. Commissioner Jones, I will let you discuss the minutes from the July 15th meeting, which was our last regularly scheduled meeting.
Yes, I'd like to address the minutes from that meeting and then also the special meeting we had September 2nd.
Okay.
This is on me that I missed those. I think I maybe had a Wi-Fi issue for the July meeting and had to redo some of the minutes and just go back and listen to the Zoom. So those are completed now, but I didn't want to send them right before the meeting. I'm not sure what protocol is for not having meeting minutes for this current meeting since we approved them and move forward.
So, I mean, the meeting minutes will need to be approved, and we should give commissioners proper notice to review the minutes for accuracy.
Just do it at the October
But
meeting.
yeah, we'll plan to do it at the October meeting. If there is anything sensitive that requires the approval, I'm sorry, that was, referenced in a QFR or whatnot, that will lead to, we might have to call a special meeting, but I don't recall. that we had something.
I
Yeah,
think we
go ahead,
will need a
Commissioner.
special meeting for them
Okay.
because in order for ANC to sign off on the QFRs and our quarterly disbursements, they want to have completed wedding signed minutes
Okay,
for each meeting that shows that we had this discussion, that everyone has approved it, and that everything's kind of in order there. So
okay.
in order for us to do our financial closeout procedures, we will need to have those approved by the commission and signed.
Okay, so Commissioner Jones, go ahead and send those through for us. And we'll either at the end of this meeting or via email separately, we'll schedule a separate meeting and make sure that those get approved in quick order.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So that was item A and B. Item C, there was a request by Commissioner Sani for approval of the amendment to minutes. Go ahead, Commissioner Sani.
Yes, as treasurer, I've been in charge of handling the QFRs, which are the quarterly financial reports we're required to provide the city to show how the ANC, basically the flow of money in and out of the ANC. Ours are generally not very exciting, which is great. You don't want to be exciting when you're handling taxpayer money. But as part of that, as just mentioned, like we have to have minutes that support the fact that the QFR was read in, that we've done the necessary reporting duties to the community. I noticed an issue on the Q2 QFR before I submitted it to OANC, but after we took a vote on it, so I revised it and brought it back the next month for ANC vote, and we approved that and sent it along. However, OANC was confused by the use of modified QFR in our minutes instead of just Q2 QFR. And when I explained it to them, they're like, yeah, just call it a Q2 QFR, because if they didn't see it, it's not modified in their minds. So I made a suggested edit on the minutes in the Google Doc, but to read it into the minutes here. Basically, I would like to change all references, all references to the quote modified QFR. I would like to change them all to Q2 QFR. There is only one occurrence, but that is my my motion to
Second.
amend.
Okay, we have a second by Commissioner Bishop Henchman. Are there any comments or questions from commissioners? Don't see any, not hearing any. Okay, we'll take that to a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams is still not present. Commissioner Galvin, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
All right, and as the chair, we have the 6-0, the minutes from the May 25th have been adjusted from modified QFR to Q2 QFR. So Commissioner Jones, would you please make that modification and post that to the website and send it to Commissioner Sani when that's completed?
Yes, I can do that.
Lost your audio briefly. I think we're back now.
I think you said yes, Commissioner Jones, but
I did. Yes, I can do that.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we'll move right along to officer reports, starting with the chair. I do not have anything major as of now. I'll move balance of my time to the vice chair.
Great. I just wanted a quick reminder to everyone that ANC 5F does have a grants program. We'll be discussing an application later in the agenda, but I did want to point out that we do have a regular cadence for applications, which is listed on our website. But I did want to mention that the next application deadline is in November, and we'll be awarding the application. If there are any grants that are voted on successfully, that they would be awarded in December. The grant application is relatively straightforward. It does require a commissioner to essentially sponsor the grant and kind of shepherd that process forward. And we just ask that it is submitted ideally at least 2 weeks prior to the November meeting. So looking forward to more submissions from the community. As we've reserved a chunk of our budget, we want to make sure that those go to the community. But let us know if you have any questions. I yield the rest of my time.
Great, thank you very much, Commissioner Anderson. Treasurer?
I have been getting our QFRs through the process. Thank you, everyone, for voting to approve the amendment. That should hopefully unstick things and get our last disbursement out the way. I guess since we were in recess in August, I have 2 statements to kind of read in. Our July statement ended with a balance of $45,922.77, showing 0 debits and 0 credits. And then our statement at the end of August was the same amount, $45,922.77, also reflecting 0 credits and 0 debits. Once our QFR stuff gets unstuck, we should see the Q4 allotment be deposited, which I believe is on the span of about $4,000. So I will, once the minutes work their way over me, I'll get that passed along to ANC and moving forward. Additionally, we are still contemplating the process for getting the bank stuff moved. Commissioner Anderson has volunteered some of her time to help out with that, so we may need to get her signature card for Industrial Bank. So I'll be reaching out to our rep to see what I need to do for that. But other than that, no other treasurer notes.
Great, thank you very much, Commissioner Sani. We'll move on to Secretary Officer reports. Anything from you, Commissioner Jones?
No report from me.
All right, moving right along. Item number 5 for public comment. The public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to speak on anything and related to local, international, whatever it may please them that's maybe related to the commission or that wants commissioners to be aware of what's happening. Wanted to let folks know we give people 2 minutes of time to speak. I have a small timer, but then after the public comment, we'll let everyone from the public have a chance who wants to speak. And then after all the public comment is done, commissioners will be allowed, if they wish, to respond or provide any feedback to the public. So with that being said, we'll open up the floor to any public comment. If you are online, you can use the raise hand function. If you're in the room, you can raise your hand as well. And we will recognize you for 2 minutes. Are there any folks who would like to speak at this time? All right, hearing none. The public comment period is short, so we'll move right along to announcements from commissioners. I'll just open this up to the floor to commissioners if they have anything specific they would like to discuss or notify members of the public about. So we'll start, Commissioner Sani.
Yeah, for those in 5F02, DC Water will be and is continuing to do lead pipe abatement throughout our neighborhood, which is great. And it is a free service offered by the city, or the district rather. And I encourage you to, if you see a placard anywhere or a door hanger, please visit the websites. It is a job they do well and is important for the health and safety of both residents of the house and loved ones who may visit or pass through. I've received notice on like Franklin Street, for example, that they will be doing drilling. So also anticipate potential disruptions and keep an eye out for parking restrictions that may pop up on your block if you are long-term parking your car on the street. Yeah, that is it.
Great, thank you very much. Any other commissioners' announcements? Yes, Commissioner Bishop-Henchman.
Yes, thank you. At 5th and W Northeast, there is a medical cannabis facility that will be opening called the Warehouse. It's already been before the commission. We went over their their application for a cannabis license and executed a settlement agreement with them. They are also looking for a zoning variance to allow them to provide digital golf within the facility. And this is a new one on me. Digital golf is somewhere between a video game and mini golf. So that's been submitted, or it will be submitted soon. And I wanted to let the community know. So in case anybody has strong feelings on whether digital golf should be provided at a medical cannabis facility, for or against, to make those views known either to me or to your commissioner. And I imagine this will go to our zoning subcommittee and then to the full commission.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Bishop-Henchman. Any other commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Jones.
Sorry, it's taking me just a second to come off mute. I have just two events or awareness things happening in DC over the next few weeks. So the first is next week is DC Fall Prevention Awareness Week. Someone had reached out to notify of this event, and this is done by DC's Department of Aging and in partnership with Community Living, AARP DC, and several other local partners. And there's going to be an event held Monday, September 22nd at Trinity College. So if people are interested in that, you can learn more about creating safer spaces, but also housing and things like that. You can also do several health tests for vision, hearing, things like that, and thinking about activity related things. So just awareness wise, just a plug. I recently had a fall, so just something, it could happen to anybody. So just awareness wise, something to bring up there. And then the week of Monday, September 29th through Sunday, October 5th is a week without driving. And this is done by, let me just double check what the organization is. I cannot remember what the organization is, but it encourages people to think about other ways of commuting. So thinking about walking, biking, or taking the train, and just being mindful of the ways we're getting to different places in the city. And some people are able to exchange a car ride with a bike ride or something else, but just thinking about ways you can commute differently.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Any other commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Anderson.
To build on Commissioner Sani's announcement, there's also DC water work on lead pipe replacement also going on in Eckington. Just as a reminder, you do have to sign an agreement to take part, and you can look up your address on the DC water portal. They have a specific section on lead-free DC. I encourage you to take part. I think they've also reached out by mail, done some door knocking as well. If you'd like to see kind of where your construction time frame is, you can go to the portal to look at that. The other point I wanted to make was that there was a Ward 5 lobby day on that Councilmember Parker led on advocating for the autonomy of DC. And one of the big things was regarding 16 bills that affect kind of our operations here in DC. Just to let you know that that has passed the markup in the Oversight Committee in the House. So please pay attention to that because that directly affects some of the work that we do here.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. I'll recognize myself for a moment here. Just want to it's been a handful of months since we had heard from DDOT about the bike lane along Lincoln Road. I've been in touch with them. They had canceled kind of the open house last minute. Gosh, back in, I think it was May timeframe. And they apologized. They had hoped to get some details on whether Lincoln Road was going, some concepts for it being one lane road. And so they didn't get that information in time. They had some logistical challenges. Regardless, they have promised to re-engage with ANC 5F once they kind of get those plans together and discuss with us, about 3 weeks in advance and schedule an open house sometime this fall. So be on the lookout for that. Obviously, that is still a ways away, but happy to see that they are taking in some feedback from commissioners and the public, as we had heard in some of our meetings. That is all I have. I'll move right along to the next order of business, unless there's anything else from commissioners. Seeing none, hearing none. We'll go to announcement from representatives of elected officials. I did not hear from representative from their Office of Community Relations, Anthony Black. However, I did hear from the Ward 5 council member, Zachary Parker's office. Mr. Oliver Stout had emailed us to let us know what some of the feedback is. And I'm happy to read that real quick. That's actually a decent amount. All right, well, let me see how fast I can read that, and we'll get through it here.
Did the baseball game get?
What's that?
That's where he's at. Is that a baseball game? Although I don't know about that.
Yeah, not a great day for baseball.
He could be an exciting ANC.
Yes, yes. So here is what Mr. Stout had sent. Budget vote. The council took its second vote on the FY26 budget on July 28th. Councilmember Park had voted no on this budget, citing the countless way it stands to harm our most vulnerable residents by cutting major social safety net programs. On the RFK Stadium, on Friday, August 1st, the council also took its first vote on the RFK redevelopment deal. Councilmember Parker fought hard to improve the deal, focusing especially on labor protections and good paying jobs. He was proud to secure these just hours before the vote, and the second vote on that will be September 17th. On the federal surge, many neighbors were rightfully concerned about the president's orders to surge federal enforcement in the district through National Guardsmen, ICE, and other federal agents. The council member has been clear that this is not about crime. In parentheses, we are at a historic 30-year lows, in parentheses, but rather about power and control. He is supportive of Attorney General Brian Schwab's lawsuit against the federal government's action and has been speaking out about this authoritarian overreach in local government. Councilmember Parker held a Ward 5 town hall on federal overreach on Thursday, August 28th to share information with neighbors, answer questions, and share several ways for neighbors to get involved in our efforts to push back. We've been sharing a Ward 5 toolkit on federal overreach to equip neighbors if they encounter law enforcement, along with resources and calls to action. There's a link that I can put in the chat. Councilmember Parker and neighbors took a trip to Congress to make our message clear. The surge of federal forces on our neighborhood streets of DC is unnecessary, expensive, and dangerous. On federal overreach and anti-DC bills in the House, similar to what Commissioner Anderson was bringing up earlier, he says, last week, the quote 30-day emergency, end quote, declared by President Trump that enabled his administration to request the services of MPD for federal purposes expired. The mayor has indicated that MPD will revert back to its, quote, pre-emergency operations, end quote, which presumably means they will not be cooperating with ICE operations. However, I caution neighbors against a false sense of security, as we know ICE raids are ongoing in the district. We expect National Guard members and federal officers to remain in DC for the foreseeable future. The mayor's executive order indicates that there will be cooperation from district agencies, quote, to the maximum extent allowable by law, end quote. Most concerning are the many anti-DC bills going through the House right now. Read our newsletter for a quick overview of the bills here. On the legislative meeting, September 17th, that's the council's next legislative meeting. This meeting is tomorrow. Yes. This meeting will include the second and final vote on the RFK development deal, which we talked about, a vote on the Rental Act, and a vote on the new collective bargaining agreement with the DC Police Union. You can find meeting information, including how to watch, on the council's website. And Ward 5 weekend day. We hope you are making plans to join us for the Ward 5 week, September this week, 15th through the 19th, and Ward 5 day, which is September 20th next week. This year's festivities will be even bigger and better than ever. EU and Sugar Bear will bring dancing tunes, restaurants, and makers from across the ward will share their delicious creations as part of the Taste of Ward 5. There will be fun activities for kids, spades tables, a basketball tournament, a youth entrepreneur fair, community resource tables, and the inaugural walk through Ward 5, where you'll be able to learn about the history and culture of Ward 5 neighborhoods. You can even give back to the community and start your Ward 5 day by joining Casey Trees for a community tree care event at Turkey Thicket. Leading up to all this, of course, is Ward 5 week, and you can catch the full schedule in the newsletter that he sends out. That is all I have from Constituent Services Director Oliver Stout from Ward 5, Councilmember Parker's office. I would say, are there any questions, but I can't answer any of them. So we will move.
Did you know?
Go ahead. Yes, Commissioner Bishop.
Although it wasn't listed in what the council will be voting on, one of the items that will be on the council's agenda is a bill from Councilmember Henderson to remove the requirement of a prescription to get a COVID vaccination. You may be surprised to hear that you need a prescription to get a COVID vaccination, because that is a change in federal law this year that applies to all of the places under federal jurisdiction, which is the District of Columbia. So right now, a lot of, I've heard, and certainly Councilmember Henderson has heard, a lot of people trying to get their COVID booster shot and getting to, CVS or Walgreens or wherever, and learning that you can't get it without a doctor's prescription. And so some people are like going to Maryland and Virginia where this does not apply. And so this is, the bill will resolve that thing. So FYI that the council will be acting on that.
And
Great,
also,
thank you very much. Yes.
Just so people know where it is, the website is ward5.us, and that's where you can get all the council member updates, that newsletter and event calendars and such. So
it's very helpful. Thank you very much. All right. Any other comments from commissioners? All right. Moving right along. The item which was review and approval of the proposed budget during the approval of the agenda, that got moved to the action agenda.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
No, that's okay.
I thought it was in. Okay,
No problem.
sorry.
No problem. No problem at all.
I messed that up.
Presentations relating to agenda items. There are none. We'll move to the consent agenda. What we have currently under the consent agenda, and just for those who have not been part of this consent agenda in the past, these items will be up for a vote en masse. Typically, they're for non-controversial and are noticed appropriately allowed for feedback from the public or from constituents. And so, but any resolution may be removed from the consent agenda by any commissioner at this time to be moved to the action agenda. And so I'll just quickly read what these are and see if any commissioners wish to move these to the action agenda. So we have the resolution supporting place-based substance use disorder outreach amendment act, sponsored by Commissioner Bishop Henchman. We have the resolution on rodent control abatement and mitigation, sponsored by Commissioner Anderson. There's a resolution on the zoning commission omnibus text amendments 25-12 on the office of package of 24 amendments to the zoning regulations. That's by Commissioner Bishop Henchman. And the resolution requesting north-south stop sign at 6th Street Northeast and Uvard Street Northeast, sponsored by Commissioner Sani and Commissioner Jones. And then we have the resolution. Oh, and that's it. Thank you. So are there any commissioners that wish to pull any of those off the consent agenda? Commissioner Anderson.
Just one quick note, the resolution, 10A, the Substance Use Disorder Outreach Act, I think on the agenda, it says, this is such a small thing, but it says it's sponsored by Commissioner Bishop Benjamin. On the actual resolution text, it says Commissioner Galvin. I'm sure you're all happy to co-sponsor it. Just wanted to point that small thing out.
Yes.
I am sure no one is offended by whomever is co-sponsoring it. But also,
I think it's more complicated to make it me, so we should keep it you.
so okay. And then second, I just wanted to make sure no one had strong feelings before we voted. And then second, if we could pull 10C off, just because I think that's important to give. I'd love to hear like a bird's eye view from Commissioner Bishop Henchman. If we could move that to the action agenda, that would be appreciated.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Commissioner Headland?
Yeah, just a question. Since I'm looking at the agenda and under the consent agenda, also the budget is listed, but you didn't say that it's listed. Is that going to?
Yeah,
I just have a quick question on that.
Sure. Yeah. So I didn't say that. It was on the agenda that was drafted, but when we approved the agenda earlier, it was moved to the action agenda. So we will still discuss it and still vote on it, but it's just not in the consent agenda as part of that.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Commissioner Jones?
Was that the same for the litter can? Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Give me a second. Cross these out as we're going along, but okay. All right. Well, with that being said, do we have hold on. Do we have an action to vote in mass for the consent agenda, which in mass would just be the two of them, the three there, which is resolution on place-based substance disorder, the rodent control and abatement mitigation, and the resolution requesting north-south stop sign at 6th at North.
It just goes to a vote automatically.
Okay. All right. We'll start with a roll call vote then. Commissioner Williams. How do you vote?
She's not, Commissioner Williams is not present.
So, sorry, Commissioner Jones. My apologies.
Aye.
Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams is not present. Commissioner Galvani, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
And Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
In the eyes of the chair, we have 6-0. The three resolutions on the agenda have passed. And we'll move forward to get those signed and out to commissioners. Thanks for everyone's work, and especially the committee on public safety and health who helped write some of these. Okay, moving right along. We will go to the action agenda. The first item on the action agenda is the grant application for the Civic Association to support Eckington Day. So before we go to approve this or to move forward with this, it will require a majority vote to suspend the rules for an off-cycle grant application. So Commissioner Anderson, I'll let you explain it for a minute on what it is. I think Commissioner Bishop Hedgeman has stepped off the table because he is recusing himself for this. So are there, go ahead and discuss the Eckington Civic Association grant.
Yes, absolutely. So Eckington Civic Association is requesting a $2,500 grant to support Eckington Day. Just as a reminder, $2,500 is the cap that we have established per organization in an effort to can distribute funds around the community. So Eckington Day has been kind of an annual event to gather neighbors around. This particular grant would be to support face painting and kind of similar activities they supported last year to support kind of entertainment for the children in the neighborhood. That's kind of it's a great event, was a big success last year. They were timely in supporting their grant reporting requirements, and I would be supportive of supporting this event again. There is a requirement that it supports the community of ANC 5F specifically, so I will say that, but I will also point out that it's along the MBT, so it does draw neighbors from Edgewood as well.
There last year.
And as I understand it, OANC approved the use of this grant, is that correct?
Yes, and just for context, OANC does not have a voting say in the grant. That is specific to the commission. What they do is they review the grant application to make sure that it is in line with the use case essentially set out by basically to make sure that it's compliant with any DC government roles. So they don't have any say, but they do review the application in advance, and they have provided their, yes, this is compliant with the use of DC government funds and taxpayer money.
Great. Any questions from commissioners? Commissioner Headland?
Yeah, I'm also going to recuse myself from this since my husband has a role on the ECA board.
Okay, understood. That brings us down to 4 commissioners. So, we just need a majority vote to suspend the rules for the off cycle. So we will, is there a motion to suspend the rules?
I put forth a motion to suspend the rules and consider this off-cycle grant application.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Sani. All right, we will do a roll call vote for the commissioners that are currently present. We'll start with Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams is not present. Commissioner Galvin, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Abstain.
Abstain. And Commissioner Edlin.
Abstain.
Okay. Thank you. In the eyes of the chair, we have a majority vote 4 to 0 to 2. So we have enough to suspend the rules. So we'll move to the action on this grant. Is there an action or questions or concerns from commissioners? And do we want to move to a vote to approve the grant?
I move to approve the grant.
You have a second?
I second.
Okay, we'll move. Any other questions from commissioners, concerns? All right, we'll move on to a roll call vote for those commissioners that are present today. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams is not present. Commissioner Galvin, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Abstain.
And Commissioner Headland.
Abstain.
Right, and the ayes of the chair, we have 4 to 0 to 2. The grant has been approved by ANC 5F. Thank you for everyone's work and ethical engagement. We'll move right along to item number 2 and the action agenda, which is the litter can resolution. So what I have is the grant was first, the litter can is next, the budget resolution is after that, and then the resolution on ZC 25-2, the omnibus text amendments on the Office of Planning will be after that. So starting on the litter can resolution, Commissioner Anderson, go ahead and you can explain what's going on there.
Fantastic. We've had a litter can resolutions previously, just as a reminder for folks in the community. Essentially, we've been advised by DPW that the new procedure for kind of streamlining litter can removal and installation requests is to kind of have that shepherded through the ANC, just to make sure everyone in the neighborhood is on board, so that it's not one neighbor requesting an addition and the other neighbor requesting a removal. While we have been advised that that is the procedure, we have seen removals take place without the ANC being notified. So this is another resolution requesting both the addition, but also a restoration of a litter can that was removed. So my addition or my proposed amendment to the resolution, I have a proposed amendment to the resolution, which is why I pulled it off. The litter can that was located across from Yang Market was removed without the ANC being noticed. Thankfully, it has been restored, kind of. It has been restored across the street from its previous location, so that is causing a bit of an issue in our neighborhood. So I would like to propose text added to the first "be it resolved" clause, and I will put the text in both the resolution document, also in the chat as well, but essentially to showcase that the U Street Northeast and Summit Place Northeast restoration of the public litter can to the original location on the southwest corner of the intersection and the public space closest to 1940 Summit Place Northeast.
Okay, are there any comments, questions from commissioners?
So
Yes,
to fully
Commissioner Simon?
understand, we're specifically defining the corner of that intersection at which or the address at which that can should be placed versus where it's improperly placed now.
So essentially, the reason why the resolution was late noticed was because I had gotten confirmation from DPW that the litter can would be restored, and thought that was a victory. And I had late noticed in an amended resolution calling out the litter can at North Capitol Street and Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. So essentially, it had removed the U Street and Summit Place entirely. Now I'm adding it back, but requesting restoration to its original location.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any?
I'm sorry, could you
Yes.
read your amendment again?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll read the full clause just so that there is no confusion. So the first resolve clause goes, therefore be it resolved that ANC 5F requests the restoration of litter cans located at the following intersections with a corresponding 311 request number notated in parentheses. So it currently says North Capitol Street and Rhode Island Avenue Northeast, adjacent to the D30 northbound bus stop with the request number. And this edit would add an additional bullet that says U Street Northeast and Summit Place Northeast, parentheses, restoration of the public litter can to the original location on the southwest corner of the intersection and the public space closest to 1940 Summit Place Northeast.
Got it. Second, and the secretary has that language, I hope.
I've added it
Okay.
as a suggested edit to the original document. It is also in the chat of the Zoom link or Zoom interface.
Great, got it. Yes, Commissioner Hanlon?
Just a comment from me, and I don't oppose the resolution, especially since I think residents have been asking for the trash can back. But I just wanted to raise that the reason why trash cans might be requested to be removed. I know of at least one trash can in my SMD that in front of the Langley Elementary School garden that they have asked in the past to have it removed because of the fear that it's attracting rats. So just, I guess, I just want to maybe enter the comment that, you know, people want to have a trash can, but then like some people don't want to have a trash can, if that makes sense. There could be a reason why people want to have a trash can removed, but that's just in general, not for this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Anderson.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Headland. I think that's a really important point, and I think that goes to one of the resolutions that we just passed requesting rodent abatement measures from the DC government, and we've outlined a couple of suggestions. I absolutely agree. I think part of what we've passed in the past in resolutions in the past have been requesting more frequent servicing of public litter cans as well. My understanding from interactions with DPW is that sometimes they do have like a nighttime team that goes and looks at the public litter cans, and sometimes litter cans essentially can be flagged for removal if they see it abused. The largest case of abusal is, or abuse, pardon me, is if household trash is suspected to be in public litter cans, and that kind of becomes cause for removal. But yes, absolutely, and I agree with kind of your sentiment. I think hopefully we can kind of stick to the procedure that's been established, where at least the ANC is notified when a litter can is suspected of abuse, so we can kind of or is slated for removal, so that we at least have notice. We can kind of get neighbor engagement around it, rather than it kind of disappearing overnight.
Okay. All right. With that being said, and the language being posted, not seeing any additional comments. Commissioner Anderson, you moved to add that?
I move to amend the resolution with the text as written in the Zoom chat and
Second.
amended on the.
All right, seconded by Commissioner Bishop Henchman. All right, we'll just we'll do a voice vote on this to make it a little quicker. So all those in favor of the proposed amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those not in favor, please say nay. All right, hearing none, in the eyes of the chair, that resolution amendment has been added. I would like to request an amendment that I just recently noticed at the corner of Lincoln Road and Rhode Island Avenue, that there used to be a litter can there at the bus stop. And this is on your, I think this is on your side, Commissioner Anderson.
It's all our side.
It's all our space, right? And so I'm wondering if we can add that as well. It would be basically at 61 Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. So basically the same language that, you know, in the be it therefore resolved, instead of First Street North, or keeping First Street and Quincy Place Northeast, but just basically adding that we would add the litter can at that location.
Question.
Yes.
Is that a request to install or a restoration?
I have not seen it probably in like 3 years, so I think it would be a new request, but I'm not sure. That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
Should be in the second resolve.
Yeah.
clause.
Yes, and please give me one moment. Gonna get the,
While you're doing that, if I could just make an
Yes.
observation.
Yes.
The, not the current DPW director, because there's been a few, but one of the previous ones promised to me verbally, and I know to other commissioners, that removals would only happen with the notification of the ANC.
Right.
Not necessarily the approval, because this is their litter cans and they decide, they only have so many. And, now it's kind of turning into, oh, we'll notify the ANC unless we're removing a bus stop, in which case we won't notify you. Or we'll notify the ANC unless somebody complains that the litter can's being abused, and then we won't notify you. I don't think we're monsters. We're not ogres. If there's a bus stop being removed, I think the community will consider that and be able to express a informed opinion to DPW on whether that means that the litter can's no longer necessary. Certainly with, if a litter can's causing more problems than it's solving, that's something that we're capable of communicating on. But I just like to express my frustration with DPW where they're supposed to be notifying the ANC on removals, in part because it leaves at least me with egg on my face when a member of the community comes out to me and says, "What happened to the litter can? Aren't you supposed, you're supposed to get notified. Did you get notified?" And I have to say, I didn't get notified. And I don't know whether people think I'm lying or not checking my emails. I am. They're not doing the notifications.
Yeah.
And I have had a back and forth with DPW staff on this. They acknowledge they're not notifying commissioners. And they're giving all sorts of reasons about why this is, and they acknowledge they're supposed to notify, and they're giving all sorts of reasons about why this doesn't apply. We had a resolution authorizing us to testify to the council asking to strengthen the law requiring notification of commissioners on litter can removals. And I think we should continue pushing for that because this handshake agreement is not working out as, because I feel like every other meeting we have a litter can resolution, which I'm all for. I'm a vote for every one of them because this is not what should be happening. This shouldn't be just left up to one DPW person to decide. Sorry for the rant.
agreed. Nope, I'm with you 100%. So thank you, Commissioner Bishop-Henchman. So I'll just, Commissioner Anderson, I'm moving to add the location on the southeast corner of Lincoln Road and Rhode Island Avenue. The request for the 311 request is, are you,
Yes.
okay, wasn't sure if that was you. 25-00586777.
25-005-86777.
Correct.
Okay.
So I would, unless there are any comments from commissioners, I'd like to move that to be added to this resolution.
Second.
May I just amend it to kind of the actual text to
Sure.
align with the,
Yeah, just for clarification.
yeah, so and Lincoln.
Now, this is next to a bus stop, so I don't know if we need to notice that it is
You
at
should,
the bus
you should
stop.
absolutely notice. that it's at
Yeah,
the
so
bus
I
stop.
wanted to
So maybe it's best to, oh, I see.
yes, so like give me 2 minutes.
Yep. And that is, yeah, sorry, I'll let you finish.
So
Sorry,
I think that's the D30
Thank you.
route,
You
right?
gave me a little extra time.
well, not long enough apparently. So.
I believe it's still on the D30 route.
It is on the
but
D32 route. Yes, it is.
D30 or 32?
D32.
Okay.
At least that's what Wilmot's site says.
Okay, great. So okay, perfect.
D32.
There's a D. Okay,
Commissioner Jones, I'll catch you in just a second.
to bus stop on the south. Okay, so may I amend your amendment to read, it's for the text to read, Rhode Island Avenue Northeast and Lincoln Avenue Northeast on the southeast corner adjacent to bus stop D32 in the public space in front of 61 Rhode Island Avenue Northeast, 301 SR 25-005-867777.
Did you say Lincoln Road?
Sorry, Lincoln Ave.
Yeah, it should be Lincoln Road.
Lincoln Road, sorry, Lincoln Road, sorry.
And if you need a bus stop number, I have the bus stop number.
I think.
But it's not needed. Okay.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yes, okay,
I accept those changes.
great.
So
Apologies.
Commissioner
Lincoln Road
Jones,
for
want to
Millennium.
recognize you real quick because I think you had a comment there.
Yes. Did you say that was removed at a bus stop that currently exists or a bus stop that was removed?
So the bus stop is still there. It has not been removed. I remember it a number of years ago and I just passed it the other day and realized that there is no longer a trash can at that location.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes. For it, yes. Okay, and for your awareness, Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Anderson has made those notes in the resolution. So,
Yes.
all right, I'm gonna move again to.
I'm moving to adopt the words I said.
Great.
Second.
And seconded by Commissioner Bishop Henchman. We'll move to a roll. We'll need to voice vote here because it's just the amendment, and then we'll go to the approval of the actual resolution. All those in favor of the added amendments, please say aye.
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 All those not in favor say nay. Hearing none, the ayes of the chair, the amendment has passed and it has been added to the resolution. Do we have any other comments? Thanks for everyone bearing with me as we make some sausage here.
I move to
Yes.
put this resolution to a vote.
Okay, great. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Sani. We'll move to a roll call vote for the approval of the resolution, starting with Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams, not present. Commissioner Galvin, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
Commissioner Headlands.
Aye.
Great. In the eyes of the chair, that resolution has passed 6-0. We will move on to the next order of business, which is the budget. Thank you, Commissioner Anderson, for your support on that resolution and those modifications. All right, the budget, adopting the 2026 budget is actually a resolution that I put together. So I will start. This is so ANC 5F, just like every other ANC, have to adopt a budget for FY 26, which starts in October. Usually you would approve this prior to the first meeting. There is a link to the resolution kind of outlining what is proposed for expenses. There were some comments from Commissioner Sani and from Commissioner Anderson noting some of these items that were in the budget. Some of those changes included the ANC5F.com domain, just some notice on what that was. And there was something else, a change in the community grants, basically allowing per quarter roughly $5,000 for expenditure in, $10,000 per quarter would be what could be spent on grants. Obviously, grants are capped at $2,500 per our bylaws, but can be amended with the suspension of the rules. Any questions, comments, concerns from commissioners, amendments?
I have.
Yes, Commissioner Sani.
Yes. One thing that's come out of discussion with commissioners is just generally me kind of being a bottleneck for password access to some of our accounts, such as our Zoom and our MailChimp. So to facilitate the straightforward sharing and secure management of passwords on shared commission resources like that and our x.com account, the Everything app. I would propose that I would like to add a line item requesting $240 for an annual subscription to 1Password. It will give us 10 seats, enough for the commission, and then some friends, I guess, to securely share things like one-time passwords as well as actual account credentials. And this will be good just to make sure that if I get hit by a bus that forgets its bus stop, there'll be some continuity on that front.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Sani. And just for clarification, the passwords would be for commissioners only and not for committee chairs and other.
We may
Perspective.
have an ability to do committee chair sharing with that,
Okay.
but there are 7 commissioners that would leave 3 seats within that limit. And so if we want to go beyond that, we would probably have to consider additional expenditures for additional licenses.
Got it. Understood. Okay. Thank you. Any questions, concerns from commissioners? Commissioner Headland?
It's kind of maybe a basic question since I haven't looked at one of these budgets before, but I'm in the Excel budget and the overall budget tab, and I think maybe you answered this question during the treasurer comments at the start of the meeting, but it looks like we're spending more than our allotment every quarter. And so is that the case? And is that because we have funds in the bank and that's how we can do that?
Yes. So because we have 45,000, see, check my notes here.
45,922.77.
Yes, we can account for larger than what we are taking in because of the funding that we currently have in the bank. So yeah, that is aligned appropriately. You read that correctly.
And is that because the funds were held, is there any context that surely that wouldn't be like an every year practice? Yeah.
And then I'll let Commissioner Sani or other commissioners kind of fill in the blank. So we have not had a large amount of executed disbursements as part of it, besides what's required to keep the commission running. There are some things in the budget that we haven't spent yet, but ultimately a big part of our budget that was approved last year was related to grants, and we have not dispersed that many grants. So there is a large portion still remaining in the bank for use. So I'll let other commissioners answer that question further. Yeah, Commissioner
I would
Anderson?
just like to amend that statement with, like, we have not dispersed because we have not had applications. So please apply.
Yeah.
Please apply. Please help us spread the word. Not every ANC has a grants program. We've decided to move forward with one. We've decided that is a priority for us, and we would love to have more applications. You do not have to be a 501c3 to apply. It does help your application if you're affiliated with one in some of the reporting, but you don't have to be one. The other thing, as you're reading this budget, I kind of want to make 2 quick clarifications on that. I do think the proposed expenses tab and the additional math tab may have carried over from previous budgets, and they don't correspond to the overall budget tab. So if this is added as like an additional document to the resolution, I would just propose that those tabs are deleted just for clarity's sake, that we just add a note on the carryover from previous quarter where we're not starting from 0. We can just put like an asterisk and be like,
I have an amendment on that.
yeah, on something to the effect of like it's $40,000, just so that there is no
56,254.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I just wanted to point out is that this is a fiscal year budget. I know sometimes fiscal year, annual year gets a little confusing. This is for the fiscal year, which starts on October 1st. So this is the last meeting that we have scheduled before, and we do need to pass one before the start of the fiscal year on October 1st. So just wanted to kind of make those quick notes for clarification.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. Commissioner Bishop-Henchman?
And just to add a little bit more context, ANC 5F was formed in January of 2023. It was brand new then, and the commissioners who who were on duty then may remember, and the community may remember, when our budget, we had zero in the bank for about 6 months, the first part of 2023. So I think all of us kind of went out of pocket a little bit in order to get the commission functioning, in order to get a Zoom account and get a computer and get furniture in the room, such as it is, and all of that. And so, maybe we kind of had a bit of a poverty mindset that has continued to carry over, which isn't to say we should go to the other end on the pendulum swing. I think a member of the community said maybe we should get some more comfortable chairs in here. I don't know, we'll see. But I always appreciate that the biggest line item that we budget for, even if we can't get it out the door because of lack of applications, is community grants. So, anybody can look at this budget, even however it looks, all of our past budgets, and know that that's what we're mainly, that's what this money is intended for. It's intended to make sure that our meetings are functional and accessible and that people can participate in them. And I'm so glad that we commit to make sure that people can participate both in person and online, and that we're able to do it, as well as getting the money out the door with community grants. So, I think there's some buildup of expenses that we haven't incurred yet that maybe we should, and also some amendments with respect to that, but also continuing to try to be ever hopeful about grant applications.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Anderson?
One quick note to add on to Commissioner Bishop Henchman's points is we do have some funds that were allocated in our previous budget for some of those acquisitions. Just as a reminder, we're all volunteers, we're doing the best that we can, but it is on my to-do list to attempt to acquire some of the things that we have budgeted for. So hopefully we do that and we have a little bit more of a balanced budget. Not that we are planning on spending $40,000 on chairs. That is not what's allotted for, but there are some logistical things that we're hoping to do. Yes, but we do need to pass a budget tonight in order to be kind of compliant, essentially. So,
well, I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I've got some
first, we have a request for an amendment already here. So let's process that. So the request by Commissioner Sani is to add $240 for an annual one password to allow for passwords to be securely shared between commissioners to eliminate bottleneck. I didn't hear of any amendments to that. So do we have a second to add that
to communication Q1? We have to put it somewhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Second.
Yep. Okay.
Chair, could you give me access and I'll help
Oh,
edit
yes,
most of these too?
yes. Thank you. Do you have the link there?
Can you confirm also that's a Zoom purchase?
It's not as, sorry, go ahead, Commissioner
It
Sani.
is not a Zoom purchase, Commissioner Jones. It is a different company. It's 1Password.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's the digital equivalent of a piece of paper with all of our passwords written on it.
It's more secure.
Great. Okay. So moving along. So there was a seconded by Commissioner Bishop Henchman to
I move to
that
amend
forward.
the amendment.
All right. And Commissioner Bishop Henchman moves to amend that amendment. I'm sure to add additional items.
Yes.
So
So
go ahead.
this is line item 3, communication. So in addition to what Commissioner Sani has recommended, I move to add an additional $700 to Q1 for quarterly constituent outreach allotment. And that's up to $100 per commissioner for SMD specific outreach, as well as an additional $2,000 in Q2 for a mailer on our meeting calendar that's adopted for 2026, and $210 in Q3 for our PO box renewal. So all that together would be, yours was what, 240? So it would add 240 to Q1, 2,000 to $940 to Q1, 2,700 to Q2, 910 to Q3, and 700 to Q4.
The mailer on the calendar was in Q2, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the commissioner, $100 per commissioner for each quarter. correct?
700 per quarter.
Per quarter, understood.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Just to make sure I have it, so 940 for Q1, 2,700 for Q2, 910 for Q3, correct?
And 700 for Q4.
Yes.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Okay. All right, any questions, comments, concerns, adjustments from commissioners, debate? All right, hearing none and seeing none, do we have a second for that? Third
Second.
amendment, seconded by Commissioner Anderson. We'll do this by a voice vote to make it quicker. All those in favor of the amendment the amendment to the budget,
It's my amendment, then his amendment.
yes.
My amendment
that
to his
includes both.
amendment, then his
Thank you.
amendment.
I
Yes,
accept
thank
the
you.
amendments to my amendment.
Okay, great. All right.
You
we'll
can ask
move-
if there's objection.
Are there any objections? Make it easier. All right, great that it's been added. So now we'll move, are there any other comments, questions? Yes, Commissioner
I would,
Benjamin.
yes, I move to amend carryover from previous quarter Q1 from 0 to instead read $50,625.74. This is a technical change that would reflect our cash balance at the beginning of quarter 1, assuming we take our current cash balance, we get our outstanding allotment in, and we have no other expenses. It may need to, in practice, be adjusted once we get there, but for passing budget purposes, I think it's
would
Right.
probably,
close enough.
I would probably deduct the
Economic.
Economic Civic Assistance grant from that
Right.
before we, unless
Yeah,
ECA doesn't want
no,
to.
that's a good point.
Because that will get dispersed
Um,
before.
But yeah, like,
50, all right.
I think, yeah, having some caveat.
Mr. Chair, I misspoke when I said 50,625.74. I meant to say 48,125.74.
48,125.74.
Okay. Any other comments, questions from commissioners?
I'll
Do we have a, yes, do we have a
I'll
motion?
add,
motion to that?
I'll add a caveat, I'll amend that with, I'll add the caveated text, assuming no other expenditures from Q1 is
Okay.
the text I will
Do you have
add.
any objections to that? Okay. Are there any objections from other commissioners for that text amendment by Commissioner Bishop-Benjamin? Nope, great. No objections. That's been added. Any other
You got 2 more.
adjustments? Go ahead, Commissioner Bishop-Benjamin.
I move to adjust line item 4, office supplies. By quarter 1 to add $2,000 for furniture for meeting room, to add $500 for printer, to make that 25, well, it'd make it 2,650 total, it had 2,500 to it. And then to add 150 in quarters 2, 3, and 4 for office supplies
In each quarter?
in each quarter.
Okay. Commissioner Anderson, did you catch all that?
I am making note of the amounts, but not the specific expenditures, if that is.
So $2,000 for furniture purchases in quarter 1.
Yeah.
And then $500 for office
For a printer,
equipment, printer
which is
in a quarter 1. as well.
whoever estimated it back in 2023, that's the amount that was estimated.
Okay.
Yes. Was I?
This is quarter 1. And then 150 for each quarter.
Yeah, it's already in quarter 1, so it'd just be adding it to quarters 2, 3, and 4.
All right, are there any additional questions? Yes, Commissioner Jones?
Those updates are just being made to the Excel spreadsheet, right?
As we speak, yeah, Commissioner
Okay,
Anderson.
great.
I'm capturing the edits in the overall Excel spreadsheet. I am going to be of the opinion that we don't have to capture the specific expenses as long as we have the larger, broader allocations. I think that we're
Yes.
still compliant if we do that. So I am doing that as we speak, because I think we're just kind of figuring out the budget, right?
Yeah.
I second your amendment.
Commissioner Headland has her hand raised. Go ahead, Commissioner Headland.
Yeah, thanks for the suggestion to add the balance to row 15. I just want to note that, guys, can you? Really I just wanted to ask if we can update the formulas at the end, the row 17, I'm sorry. And I could help do it if I got access. I'm an Excel, a fan of an Excel.
Yeah,
There we go.
Commissioner Anderson is making the updates as we
Thank
go.
you.
Thanks for the clarification. All right, all right, there was a second for that adjustment for the 2,500 and then 150 each quarter. Are there any objections? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll add those. Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Last one, move to amend line 7, purchase of service to add $200 in each quarter to purchase internet of some kind.
Like
We
it.
used to have internet here, we don't now. We were leeching off someone who is no longer letting us leech off them, so I think we need to put on our big boy
Pony up.
pants and buy our own internet. And I'm sure the community and attending would appreciate Wi-Fi access as well as
Understood.
us.
Understood and agreed. All right, are there any questions, comments from commissioners about that? All right, we have a second to add that. Seconded by Commissioner Sani. Are there any objections? Hearing none, seeing none, that has been added. Thank you, Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
That's all I have.
All
Thank
right.
you, Commissioner Galvin, for
Yes.
pulling this together.
Sure, Commissioner Anderson.
The one thing I wanted to note is that when we had started our grants program, we had essentially said that funds that were not used, we had essentially allocated $10,000 per quarter, and then said that any funds that are not used in that quarter would roll over, and they would continue to roll over. I want to make sure that if that is something that we want to move forward with, that we are allocating for that in the budget. Whereas right now, essentially, if it's not used in the fiscal year, it's kind of being redispersed into the broader set of funds. So
I mean, we could
yeah.
put an asterisk next to grants and just make the note that if expenditures are not completed in their respective quarter, that they roll over to the next quarter. Is that what you're requesting to amend?
Might be if bylaws change.
Yeah, I think maybe essentially I wanna review our documents. Essentially, basically, it's just a matter of like how we've allocated funding. And I'll quickly look at what we had voted on. Because essentially, if we've allocated that for grants, we shouldn't be using the funds essentially, right? Where that would also mean that like our Q1 essential grant funding would not be 10K, it would be a larger pool of money. But I'll look quickly on the on kind of the bylaws that we passed.
Okay. All right, any other comments from commissioners? Now, what, go ahead.
Yeah.
Bishop Benjamin.
Our standing rules 910 reads, within a fiscal year, if grant funding for a given quarter is not fully allocated, the funds will be rolled over to the next quarter's grant cycle.
Okay, so within a
it's
fiscal year.
It's a great idea that I think you already wrote into our rules. So,
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think we wrote it, that's, wait, so, but hold on, so
It doesn't
we're,
roll over between fiscal years.
but it doesn't roll over, it's, the question was more, but we notified, wait, so does it say it rolls over within the fiscal year?
within the fiscal year.
Okay, great, I just wanted to
I
make
don't think
sure.
we can
Yeah.
Yeah.
future
Yeah, okay,
budgets.
perfect, just wanted to make sure that we were allocating appropriately.
Okay.
Thank you for looking at that.
Yep, appreciate that. Thank you, Commissioner Benjamin. All right, where we're at, I think we're at a point, unless there are any questions or comments from commissioners, suggestions on this. Is there, well, since it's my original amended budget, I will make a motion to have this budget approved as amended. Do we have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Sani. We'll go to a roll call vote. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Sani.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams still not present. Commissioner Galvan present. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
You didn't vote though,
I didn't.
or unless
Sorry.
you're voting present.
Yeah, I meant to vote aye. Commissioner Anderson votes aye. Is that correct?
Yes.
Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And Commissioner Headland.
Aye.
Thank you very much. As the chair, we have passed the budget as amended. Thank you very much for More sausage making. All right. Moving on to resolution on ZC 25-12, the omnibus text amendments for the Office of Planning, package of 24 amendments. Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Yes, thank you. And first and foremost, I want to thank our Zoning and Development Committee that spent its June meeting going through all 24 of these proposed zoning amendments and coming up with very informed opinions on each of them. And you can tell that because it's not all support or it's not all opposed. It's nuanced on each one. So the Office of Planning, which is a DC government agency, has proposed 24 amendments to zoning regulations and invited feedback from ANCs. Our ZAD committee went through, I may have said June, I meant July, at the July meeting and prepared this draft resolution. It would support all of the proposed amendments except the following ones. One of them deals with reduced parking minimums around high-frequency bus routes, and the regulations currently define what high-frequency bus routes are. And their new definition, inadvertently, we think, I think at least, omits Rhode Island Avenue and 14th Street and Independence Avenue, which matter less for us, and North Capitol Street. And why I think that happened is on Rhode Island Avenue, for instance, the D32, it's two service patterns. So one goes from the metro station one goes from the metro station west to downtown, and then one goes all the way on Rhode Island Avenue out into Maryland. And so OP screwed up, and they're just counting half of that service pattern and not all of it. So that's why they think it's not a high frequency bus route, which they define as at least 15 minutes service. And that's also the case with the other examples there. North Capitol is because Better Bus reduced bus service from 12 minutes to 15 minutes. I think they should keep it in there, even though it may not be that. Number 16 asks that we relax ADU regulations. This is for accessible dwelling units in backyards. They kind of made up a number, and rather than making up a number, we think they should do what Maryland and Virginia have both done, which is 1,200 square feet as the standard of what can be allowed up to. So using neighboring jurisdictions information rather than just making up a random number, which I think it was 600. It's currently 450. Number 17, which is opposing a new arbitrary setback requirement, which would require a 3-foot setback requirement. If this had been regulation, essentially every ADU in the District of Columbia, including all of those in our neighborhood, would have been prohibited. So this would be moving in the wrong direction of something that I think a lot of neighbors want the flexibility to be able to ask for. And then number 18, opposing a new restriction on accessory apartments. They frame this as just a technical change, that why would you build an accessory apartment when you can have an ADU? They're different things. People might ask for different things for different reasons, and we want to make sure that flexibility remains in the code. And then 22 is they propose adding daytime care to a list of acceptable uses in neighborhoods with that require street frontage to be used for certain designated uses. And our recommendation is, instead of like amending this every couple of years to add some new use, why don't you just make a catch-all category for street activating uses? So we're not against daycare being added, but we're saying, why don't you just add this catch-all category? I think these are all excellent suggestions it's open right now. It says ZC case number 2512. The last time I looked, no ANC has yet submitted comments on it. So we'll be the first, and perhaps setting the standard for other ANCs to look very closely at these and make sure they're providing community input on all of these. So I did circulate this back in, I think, early August, because I know it's 24 things, a lot of material. I want to make sure people had a chance to look through it. As I said, the zoning committee did go through it and adopted them unanimously. I received no comments or questions or suggested changes from anyone. So With that, I move to adopt the resolution.
All right, are there,
Just
is there a
comment?
second? Yes.
Oh,
go
I
ahead.
second, but second with a comment, I underscore Commissioner Bishop Henchman's statement that this was a lot of work, and I'm very, while I did not attend that meeting, like the reviews were very thorough, and I very much appreciate the zoning committee looking out for their neighbors in ANC 5F.
Thank you, Commissioner Sani. All right, now that we're kind of in debate, are there any other questions or concerns from commissioners? Starting with Commissioner Anderson, then move to you, Commissioner Jones.
Wait, just for point of a
Yeah.
procedural question, I
Yes.
think Commissioner Bishop Henchman, you moved to vote, correct?
You move to adopt it.
Move
to
to
bring it-
adopt.
to
Okay,
bring
got
it
it,
So
in.
then
okay,
there's a second.
yeah.
Now there's debate
Yeah,
or
okay, perfect.
amendments or
Just
anything.
just wanted to clarify the motion.
Screwed up last time. So I fixed it this time. Commissioner
Just
Jones.
wanted to make sure.
No debate, just thank you, Commissioner Bishop Henchman, for working on this. Seems like it took a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I think this is all good. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Just a quick clarification, Commissioner Bishop Henchman, on item 16, which is allowing accessory buildings in R and RF zones greater than 450 square feet. So the reason why I bring this up is I had some folks in my neighborhood recently bring up about, there's like some big alleys in Edgewood in that section,
Yeah.
that area.
Alley lots are a whole different
Got it. Okay.
different
So,
section.
so this is more with respect to.
And actually, there is
areas.
a separate, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
There
go
is
ahead.
a separate ZC case on alley lots, which
Mhm.
I have not even cracked open yet. And
Got
if
it,
there's any
okay.
member of the community that wants to do that, I'm happy to work with them on that. So.
Gotcha.
It's,
Gotcha.
So it's not meant to.
So yeah,
change,
it doesn't affect that,
Yeah.
that portion.
And I
Okay.
know, I like building things. I do get that there's an issue when, somebody built some, 5-foot wide thing that hogs up the whole alley out of nowhere and you can't do anything about it. And that there ought to be some better rules on that. So.
Yep. Okay, great. Thank you for that clarification. All right, with no additional debate or questions, Commissioner Anderson?
I think just point 17 does go a little bit into kind of not specifically alley lots, but something that I would venture to say is adjacent to the topic of an alley lot.
Setbacks.
Yeah, but setbacks, or like it's not specifically on alley lots, but it's regarding alley lots more broadly, right? Where like if alley lots apply to that because it's regarding setbacks in alley lots. Just wanted to point that out, just because there are a lot of alley lots in our areas, and they've been a lot of debate about that. And I see that to the points kind of talk about both for the ADU point, but also for accessory apartments that kind of we're opposing kind of that they be owner occupied.
So 17, the proposed regulation would
Mhm.
add a 3-foot side setback requirement on
Mhm.
all ADUs, including those fronting alley lots, but really fronting anything. Our position is the resolution currently, as it currently stands, would oppose by asking that the 3-foot only be applied where it's necessary to allow privacy or light or access to abutting structures. So
Okay.
rather than just, 3-foot arbitrary everywhere, especially since that would prohibit a lot of the ADUs that have already been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification. Anything else, Commissioner Anderson?
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the work that's gone into this, and I know it's quite zoning can sometimes be a dense topic, but it's incredibly important. So I appreciate you also taking the time to kind of walk the attendees of this meeting through that, because I think it is important enough that I think it's worth kind of talking about the work that our committees do.
And before we vote, I should note that, whatever you may think about any of these, it's a public process, the zoning commission. The record is open. Anybody can submit a record. So far, there is all of one person, Charles Cox, writes that he supports it, but that's all of the public feedback that the zoning commission has gotten so
Wow.
far.
Wow. Okay. Great.
So far.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Bishop Henchman. With that being said, would you like to motion?
I move to adopt the resolution.
All right, do we have a second? I will second it. We'll move to a roll call vote. Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Sani,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams is not present. Commissioner Galvan, I vote aye. Commissioner Anderson
Aye.
and Commissioner Bishop Henchman.
Aye.
And sorry, finally, Commissioner Headlands.
Aye.
All right, as the chair of 6-0, the resolution has been adopted unanimously. Thank you for all your work, Commissioner Bishop Henchman. Moving right along, we are on item, I believe that finished out the action agenda. So let me check my notes here. Yes, so we will move to other reports or presentations. We have Alex Friedman. I believe there's someone else with, I believe it's Nick, Mr. Kushner. Commissioner Sani, if you can elevate Mr. Kushner as part of the Office of Planning. They will present to provide an update for 10 minutes on the DC Comprehensive Plan.
Great. Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you for
Okay,
joining.
great. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Great to hear such a spirited discussion on the zoning omnibus amendment. My name's Nick Kushner. I am a senior planner at the Office of Planning. I am the project manager for DC 2050, the district's next comprehensive plan. I do have a brief presentation that I can go over. Let me try to share. I think that should work. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see
Yes,
my
I can see
screen
that.
now. Okay, let me just go into presentation mode. So the Office of Planning, as you heard a little bit about, we work closely with the Zoning Commission. We have development review where we review planned unit development cases, BZA cases. We organize other agencies to provide agency comment on cases that come before the Zoning Commission for set down reports. We also do a lot of planning at the Office of Planning. So we do a lot of small area plans, corridor studies, vision frameworks, and are embarking currently on the district's next comprehensive plan, which I am here to talk to you about tonight. So DC 2050 is the district's new comprehensive plan. A comprehensive plan is a long-range plan and vision for the city. It does a number of things. It kind of sets the priorities for the city to guide us as we grow and develop, and kind of dictates our future land use and how land is allocated across the city and what can be built where and how. It informs zoning in that respect. And it also informs how agencies conduct their capital budgeting. So when the mayor has her capital budget proposed every year, there is a process where those capital improvement projects are weighted in alignment with the comprehensive plan. So it's a very important document, both for how the city aligns and spends its resources, and also how land gets used throughout the district. So why are we doing a new comprehensive plan now? Our current comprehensive plan, which will still be our current plan until a new one is adopted, was actually first adopted in 2006. Some of you may have been involved in 2021 when we did what's called an amendment to that comprehensive plan. So most plans have had a couple amendments in their kind of 20-year cycle. So the most recent one for the current plan was in 2021, where we did do a lot of engagement, made some changes to the current document, but a lot of things have changed even since then. And definitely a lot of things have changed since we first developed the framework for that plan way back in 2006. So this is a chance to do what's called a rewrite of the comprehensive plan, which allows us to some of our goals, hopefully make it a simpler, more user-friendly document that people can navigate on their own much more easily. It'll also allow us to address some of the challenges that we're facing today and plan for the future and the opportunities that some of those challenges create. We know that our downtown has changed a lot in the last 5 years, and we need to create the policies that lead to a vibrant place to live and work in the district. We also know that there's still growing population, and hopefully that will continue. We are in talks now about when it would make the most sense through this process to conduct our next forecasting as part of the Washington Metro COG forecasting cycle. We are currently, our most recent forecast was around 10.0, which projected that we would add 145,000 new residents. We know that there has been a lot of things happening day by day in the news cycle and affecting the district very dramatically. And so this is not an easy time to do forecasting. And so we are strategically thinking about how to weigh the timing of when we can have a new forecast to kind of inform this plan before a final plan is adopted, but are confident that we will continue to grow, we can continue to see interest and demand in the district and grow. So we need to be able to provide enough housing for the residents, both that live here today, to ensure that housing prices don't rise, and also to provide for new interest of people who want to move to the district. This is where we are in the process today. So we kicked off our plan back in March with the mayor at the Strand Theater in Ward 7. We've been doing a lot of engagement. We had some intro meetings back in March and some community workshops in the May-June timeframe. Over the summer, we've been out at a lot of community events. Anacostia River Festival will be at H Street Festival coming up this Saturday. We've been engaging at community kind of block parties all across different areas of the city, and also hosting focus groups to try to reach out to populations who might not have always been involved in planning processes. So partnering with community-based organizations to hold smaller focused conversations around people's priorities and the areas of interest for what they want to see reflected in the plan's structure and policies. We are now entering the second phase of our planning, which is a really exciting phase in which we are getting ready to announce some workshops for coming up in October, November timeframe. So that'll be where we explore possible futures together for how the district can grow and how our land use can change. So we will be looking at maps. We will be talking about how different opportunities to grow to create the types of housing that we want in different parts of the city, and to ensure that our land use strategy reflects our overall policies for the district and that those are in alignment. And then we will, after the spring of next year, we'll get into really the bones of drafting the plan and the policies, where we will present a draft plan for public feedback in September, October timeframe of 2026. So about a year from now. And that'll be open for public comment. Of course, happy to meet, come out to ANC's, and definitely there will be a process to submit comments, and also we'll be out and offering office hours. We'll be in communities. There'll be lots of ways to engage and have conversations with us when the draft plan is out. Then our assumption is, from integrating those comments we receive from the draft plan public comment period, we will submit the plan as formal legislation through the mayor to the DC Council. The DC Council needs to vote and approve the plan. So they will hold hearings. At that point, it goes into the council's hands. They can hold hearings, have public testimony, invite comments on the plan that way. And then it goes through the National Capital Planning Commission for 60 days, where they can assess the plan for any federal interests, because the district's plan is the district portion of the comprehensive plan, and the federal government manages the federal portion, which is kind of the monuments and the monumental core of the city. And then we hope that once it goes through NCPC and Congress, that it will be adopted by early 2028, where it will then go into implementation. And that at that point, all of the policies and the new kind of future land use map, which dictates kind of like the what and where of what can be built in different parts of the city, and which zoning has to be consistent with, will be adopted as the new policy, the new land use policy of the district. So just quickly, some of the engagement numbers we've had to date. We did have a visioning survey. We'll have another way to engage online with the fall workshops that we're getting ready to start promoting. We've, as I mentioned, been at a lot of pop-ups and community events. We have heard that people really value the cultural diversity of the district, its neighborhoods, its walkability, and its people. And we've, through kind of our workshops in May and June, we really engaged on a deeper level, playing this kind of board game activity where people could allocate different types of housing in different parts of a hypothetical neighborhood. And some of what came out of those conversations were really wanting access to grocery stores, parks and rec, metro stations close by, and that people wanted to see a diversity of housing types close to transit, and looking at revitalizing downtown through some additional housing. And that most people we talked to wanted to stay in the district if they could over the next 10 years. So here are some ways to get involved in the interim right now. You can sign up for our newsletter. I can send these slides out, and all of these have links to them. I can also put the link to our website in the chat, which is just dc2050.com. You can sign up to our newsletter. We try to send those out on a monthly basis, and they'll probably be more frequent as we get into the fall engagement. We have an engagement summary report from our phase 1 that we just released a couple weeks ago. So you can look at that for a little more information on who and how we've engaged so far and what we've heard. And then we have a new video, which is kind of introducing our approach to talking about future land use, which is a concept called place types, which is a way to hopefully simplify some of the policy that we'll have in the future land use map. So there's a video that kind of teases that and talks a little bit about that. We'll talk a lot more about place types in the fall workshops, so encourage anyone who can to come out to those. And then we have some tentative dates right now. We're just trying to lock in locations. So that is the 25th of October, which is a Saturday, and the 6th of November, which is a Thursday evening. I will pause here. This is just how you can find out more information. Here's our website. You can email us at dc2050@dc.gov. That's actually the best way to email to get a question asked, because multiple staff in the office check that daily. So that's going to be your quickest turnaround to get somebody to respond, and then the appropriate person will get in touch from the office planning. So, and there's a QR code. If you want to scan it, you can go right to our website. So that's all I got. I'm happy to take some questions if there are any questions.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kushner, are there any questions from public or commissioners? Commissioner Bishop Benjamin?
Yes, thank you for being here this evening, and thank you for sharing on what sounds like a very robust public outreach plan for the next 2 years, which at the end of the day, I hope makes significant changes to the housing crisis, the housing price crisis, the affordable housing crisis that we have in the District of Columbia. I am very pleased to see the survey results that you shared. And I hope that more of that type of activity is undertaken as part of this effort. The best public outreach meeting will get maybe you'll break 100 out of the 700,000 residents of the District of Columbia. And I'm sure you're going to break records with all of the outreach activities that you're engaging in, but I still think it will only be a small percentage of the 700,000 people. And through surveys and through direct outreach and using scientific methods that are well used in a lot of other contexts, we can get insights on what the vast majority of district residents care about, which I think is we need to build more to get prices down. We need to have more amenities. We need to have more transportation improvements, and things need to be more walkable and in a lot more areas. So my worry is always, if you're just listening to the people who take time out to come to a government meeting, no offense to literally everyone listening to me right now, that's not always representative of where most people are. So I know you're going to read everything you get, and you're going to look at everything you get, but I just want to put in a plug, which it sounds like you already have one hand of making sure that you're listening to all the people who aren't coming to the meetings as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that comment.
I'll make a mention or a question for you, Mr. Kushner. So obviously commissioners have, the ability, just like we've passed several resolutions tonight, to kind of, gauge, where we as a commission, want to put our resources and our thought process, down and vote and take a stance on something. How do resolutions kind of how does that feedback, if a commissioner would write a resolution and it passed the commission, how would those types of feedback be engaged and best engaged in the planning process right now? Would that be, anytime between now and, I guess the end of the council's hearings, right? Because they will also take those into consideration. But are you guys taking feedback from, let's say for, a zoning perspective where, a particular area maybe needs to be, is it flummed? Upflummed, thank you.
Or down.
Or down flummed, right? Those types of things, especially at a hyper local level, might be really significantly change how an area can be used and kind of the future of the city. So that's kind of a multi-part question. But when would you see kind of the best time for those types of perspectives to come through to you?
Yeah, so I hear you. Thanks for that question. So I think definitely invite commissioners to be actively engaged throughout the process, come to the meetings, participate in the kind of online and in-person forums that we'll have, to voice any thoughts, comments as we work towards a draft plan. I think those kind of official resolutions would probably be best received when we have the draft plan, as a way then that we can respond directly to those questions with either the changes in the plan or justification as to our chart of action from the letter. So that is a process that we followed in the amendment process last time, where we gave all ANC resolutions great weight. We responded by line to each one of those points that were raised in those resolutions. So we'll be doing that again.
Great. And remind me what the timing is of that again, rough order.
So we're hoping to have the draft plan released by like fall of 26. So about a year from now.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Just around the corner.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you very much, Mr. Kushner. Appreciate your time. Any other questions from commissioners?
No, I just also wanted to kind of underline what Commissioner Bishop mentioned was, thank you for your plan for community outreach. And I know that, as was probably evident in our debate about our resolution, that sometimes it's difficult to wrap your head around the actual implications of some of these zoning matters. So I appreciate any effort that you have to kind of, illustrate what these regulations and kind of planning initiatives can do.
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you.
All right, we'll move along to the next order of business, which we have the DC Advanced Technical Center in Eckington. Thank you very much for your patience, sitting for 2 hours, and we will recognize you. Thank you very much. Commissioner Bishop, did you want to introduce them?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we have
Let's get right
items
to it.
for you here. Should I stand over here?
All the matters you get picked up on the.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Where we feel most comfortable, Michael.
Here is fine. But hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Zimmerman. I'm the Ward 5 Administrator of the Advanced Technical Center. We are operated by OSCE, the Office of the State Superintendent of Education. And I'm joined here tonight by several people. I want to make sure to introduce them too, because they're essential to the project and the reason that I'm here tonight. But we have Clifton Martin, who is also with me at OSCE. He's our State CTE Director, Current Technical Education Director. Terry Fauntleroy, who's repping DGS, Department of General Services, and a project manager from Brailsford Davy, chief architect from Perkins Easton, Stephen Pinhope, and I didn't know he was coming, but I am so glad, Eckington's own Tariq Chase, the owner of Back to Life Physical Therapy, but also one of our adjunct professors at the ATC.
Oh, awesome.
So,
Multiple
but we've been here in the neighborhood since August of 2023. But if you don't know who we are a 2-year dual enrollment program for DC high school students. They can specialize in cybersecurity or a range of healthcare programs. In terms of our program design, we make sure that all of our students can engage. They start from as early as 9th grade or as late as 11th grade for our 2-year program. And here at the Ward 5 ATC this year, we just closed our enrollment with 311 students from 25 different high schools. We run 4 sessions a day, so students are coming and going. If you may see a lot of activity out of that building there at 1709 3rd Street Northeast. And then some of our highlights throughout the year while students are also learning in these career-focused college classes. But we also do a networking mixer and mock interviews to prepare them for their paid internships that they apply for. And also we have a now annual community health clinic that I invite the neighborhood to come in the spring. I'll make sure you guys get that announcement to share with folks as well. But come get your vital signs read by our advanced nursing students, make sure we're all in tip-top shape. And then always looking just for ways for the Eckington neighborhood to support our students as well. And so if you do have any ideas and want to support aussie.atc@dc.gov, send us an email. But the real reason that I'm here tonight, we have been growing by leaps and bounds since we first opened our doors actually at Trinity in 2022. We moved down the street in 2023. And then this year we actually have also opened a second location. We are down also in Ward 8 at the Whitman Walker Max Robinson Clinic as well. And now the reason I'm coming to you tonight is to talk about the expansion we're doing at the Ward 5 ATC, which is to our first floor there of the Penn Center, which you know is a 4-story sort of warehouse style building there on 3rd.
And just to orient everybody,
Please.
This is the building bounded by Randolph R, 3rd, and the MBT. You may know it as the building that has the mural of the building of the Lincoln Memorial or the building with the facade of the National Geographic distribution center. It, seems like for a while it was like this haunted, empty building, but
We're bringing it back to
they're
life.
bringing it back to life,
Yes.
and that's part of what they're talking about.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
All of my students learned first aid and CPR, so we're keeping it alive. But yes, so but we are currently occupied on the 2nd floor of the building. However, we're moving down into the 1st floor as well because we are actually already at capacity instructionally in terms of our classrooms. So we're going to be adding 4 more classrooms. That's going to increase our enrollment over the next 2 years by 150 to reach about 450 students by 2027. Also, we're finalizing our pathways of what will be in those classrooms. We're sticking broadly within the healthcare and IT fields. And then we're also bringing 2 additional exciting partners to the neighborhood in the form of Children's National Hospital and MedStar Health. They're going to be opening 2 clinics in that 1st floor as well. So Children's is bringing a pediatric urgent care, and MedStar is doing primary care and possibly some specialty care as well. That'll be accessible to the neighborhood. We've partnered with DC Department of Health to really look at their health equity numbers and help to kind of guide and figure out what that may look like. This is a $21.5 million project invested with DC local funds, but it's going to be covering over 26,000 square feet, and very excited to be able to bring that. Really quick in terms of the timeline, we have demolition is starting very soon in about a month, in mid-October. We expect the working hours to be about 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., give or take. Then the construction from the classroom side should largely be completed by mid-June, and then opening to welcome students next August. And then the healthcare spaces are slated to end in their construction in October of 26, and with them likely coming online in 2027 at some point. So that is everything that I have. You can see in the slides that we provided, and I think was also linked in the agenda, there is some drawings. And so Stephen, if I can have you briefly talk to those, because that's the extent of my expertise. Yeah. I just run the school. But if you have any questions, he can certainly be the one to answer those, or Terry as well.
Did you want to display the slides or shall
Someone would have to screen share it. It's not something we.
Did you just sent it over?
They're linked from the agenda page.
Yeah.
While I was pulling that
I
up, I
have
just
a
have a question.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Just at looking at the diagram, I was just curious, the parking lot that is adjacent to the building, is that part of the same project? And are there any additions or any changes happening to that lot?
Absolutely, great question. So we do have the parking lot is immediately come to the north side of the building. Don't count on my cardinal directions here, but they're at 3rd and Randolph. And so that is the existing parking. We are working with the Department of DC Public Libraries, who owns the lot across the street, to work on providing additional parking capacity that would help, I'm sure, with the clinic side of things.
But there's currently no scope within our remit to address that parking area itself.
Okay.
There may be stormwater structures or something that may be adjacent to that parking lot, or may change a little bit the access into the parking lot, but the parking itself is not currently within the scope.
Thank you.
Other questions from commissioners?
I have a few.
Mr. Sonny?
So I remember it wasn't last year, might have been the year prior when y'all presented about moving in. Very excited about that. Your plan for student transportation was around Ubers or other rideshare vehicles, kind of doing pickup and drop off, because it's like a 2 to 4 hour program for each student. And I know following that, there were a lot of neighborhood concerns around just the congestion that introduced into these narrow neighborhood roads with one-way streets and stuff like that. What is your current kind of disposition for student transportation?
Yes, so we only actually had that sort of set up for about the first 2 months of our operation. And then we shifted to a company that has vans. So if you do ever come by, you'll see lots of white 15-passenger vans rolling up and down. And so it's actually one of the reasons it's very important that the curb in front of our building, that the parking there has changed anyway. And so during the school day, it's 15-minute parking. However, we do sometimes find that there are cars that stay sitting there, which then does create possibilities for congestion, hitting the D34 bus, stop, et cetera. But we do our best with those vans to keep them lined up either in front of the building, or they actually use a portion of our parking lot as well. So now, Mr. Hinchman, please tell me if I'm wrong, because you're our ANC, but I believe a lot of those congestion concerns were really alleviated within the first few months of our operation.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Commissioner Sani's memory is correct. For the first 2 months, there was a lot of craziness going on. I haven't, since you've done that switch over, I haven't gotten anything from anybody. Certainly we're doing community meetings. So if people have heard this, let me know, let Commissioner Sani know, let anybody know, and we'll try to address it. And that was going to be my main question. And, maybe this gets into the slides, but what might neighbors expect as you conduct this build out in terms of construction impacts, just so that they're aware of what might be on the table?
Correct. So as we move into demolition here over the next month, obviously it shouldn't be too crazy because that's, more so interior. But as we do get into the spring and summer months, obviously they will see an increase of construction traffic as we receive our building permits. So that will be the time frame in terms of, influx of construction traffic and personnel in and out of the building.
Do you anticipate any traffic closures or closures of the MBT being necessary?
Negative.
Okay.
Not right now.
And I guess, following up from my earlier question, so with the introduction of 150 more students, plus, I guess, clinic sort of traffic, which you said it may have a separate parking lot, we don't know yet. Will those 150 students be in the same buses? Like what volume of traffic increase do we anticipate given all of this?
So the good news for us, and 150 seems like a lot. Also, there's a small subtype that says 150 per year, 75 per year makes it 100 total. But because we have students, we have 4 sessions a day, they come and go. So that 450 by 2027, you'll never feel that all at one time.
It's spread out the day.
Yeah, exactly. Like right now, we have our 311 students. The largest number we have in the building at any one time is 120. So it spreads it out, and so you don't feel that impact nearly in the same way. I'm sure there will be some more vans, et cetera. However, not nearly as the way you might think.
And so and this might be a question for the gentleman back, but like, so with DGS's involvement here, what is their remit? Is it only within the building, or are there streetscape changes that?
Correct,
you
it's
can-
only within the interior of the building.
Interior, okay.
There is a couple of exhibits that we have there that show that we have additional entrances. One is west facing, which is south of the historic National Geographic main lobby entrance. That's to be the main entrance into the Children's National Urgent Care Clinic.
Yep.
There's an additional entrance that's going to go into the MedStar, which is on the south side of the building, roughly a third over from 3rd Street. And the intent it has for the children's entrance is to have a ramp and stairs to bring you down to a lower level of that first floor. Because right now the first floor is
at grade
4 feet down. Well, it's at grade for
the
main lobby,
on 3rd Street.
but then further to the south, it's 4 feet down. So in order to be able to access that for children's, you're going to need to have a ramp and a set of stairs. On the south side, our intervention is going to be far less significant in terms of any kind of ramping or stairs in order to be able to access MedStar. But our intent is, first off, we're going to be discussing this with the Historic Preservation Office, potentially having to go in front of the Historic Preservation Review Board in order to be able to have their review and permission in order to do this. But we're trying to be as sympathetic with the existing building as possible, have as small impact in terms of how it fronts onto the street, but still be noticeable for people who are looking for either the entrances to Children's or to MedStar.
Well, certainly let us know if you need a letter, because I think right now there's a dumpster and a bunch of parking spaces there. So I wouldn't
Well,
consider that
actually,
too historic.
Yeah, one of
but-
my,
Yeah.
this kind of gets to my
Question,
concern.
Go ahead,
Okay.
yeah, and then.
So this is now introducing some traffic onto that east block of our street. And right now it's like the entrance to the apartment building that's just south of it, which is also where Tariq's business is. But like one of the issues we've had is with cars entering the MBT from our street. And I feel like this is just introducing more contention there. And I know we've put in many requests to DDOT in the city to add bollards to stop cars from entering. So if that was something that we could at all squeeze into this project, like we'll write you a resolution that underscores saying everything, like just put bollards there and
I'll
like,
make it even easier for you. There's a big giant planter in that spot right
Yes.
there. That planter is supposed to be at the end of our street fronting the MBT. And if one day someone on doing construction work were to move that planter where it's supposed to be, I think we would all be very, very happy.
because like,
That's how we got in that location. I think it mysteriously moved.
Yeah, so if it can mysteriously move there, I think it can mysteriously move back.
yeah,
So.
because, this has been a perennial thing. We see cars in the MBT all the time. And this has been identified as one of the entrance points. And I know it is not y'all's intent to bring traffic onto the like car traffic onto the MBT, but that is like one of the side effects that we see happening because of this being an increased destination. It is not your fault, but if as neighbors, like this is something that be done, that'd be wonderful.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yeah, I think I had similar comments, questions about that entrance on our street. So just so I understand, and first of all, that's amazing that there's additional healthcare. That's amazing. I'm really excited about that, and providing additional access to healthcare for our neighbors. So by urgent care, it's not an emergency room, right? It's kind of
That's
To be
correct.
clear,
It's not
right.
intended to be
it's not like an all
ambulances at night.
right, yeah.
It's really for kids who need to have a appointment with, see a doctor without an
Right.
appointment.
Right, exactly. That was, thank you for putting it into those terms where I was trying to, I knew that that's what urgent care is. I just wanted to kind of clarify emergency care versus like an urgent care, like emergency room versus an urgent care. I mean, both are very necessary, just slightly different implications. And then for the MedStar entrance, just curious if there are any plans on like with the increased pedestrian traffic, if there's an expansion of the sidewalk or or are there any requests to that? There are no changes there. Okay. And then next to the MedStar, like labeled entrance there, in the diagram, it looks like there's an additional entrance, but that'll also be used.
That's existing.
Right, but will it be like a?
It's only emergency egress.
Okay, got it. Great. Yeah, I think just wanted to kind of echo some of the comments that Commissioner Sani had brought up, where it is a popular corridor. It is an increasingly popular corridor there, as you all know, because the entrance to the MBT, would love for that section to be safer, both for like bikers, but also pedestrian traffic. I think just the various types of kind of transportation, whether on foot or on bike, or unfortunately on four-wheeled cars, you know what I mean? Which we've or mopeds or whatever. Like it's becoming kind of a congested area, and just want to make sure, especially with I imagine if it's specialty services, you know, I imagine some people, like there may be handicap parking or whatever, there may be additional people who may need additional like transportation needs that are there. So just wanted to kind of keep an eye
Just
on
make
that.
sure people don't get confused and drive onto the MBT.
Or get hit, you know, like just in very,
That'd be
just
even worse, yes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I guess
But there's a clinic right there.
a clinic is right there, right? I just don't want to create unnecessary. I'm doing a very
Conflicts,
poor
yeah.
job 2 hours into the meeting of just voicing my my point, but mainly just with additional kind of foot traffic into that area.
How about
Want to make
this?
sure
I
everyone
mean,
is safe. Yeah.
So far, they sound very amenable, but if I could work with both you and you, Commissioner Anderson, and you, Commissioner Sani, to come up with a resolution and being a little more
Sure.
specific on what we're
Yeah,
asking here.
absolutely. Sure.
And, you know, I think they'll take a look at it.
Also, can I just say, encourage you to, so if you send an email, we can make sure to share that also
Yeah,
with the
sure.
DGS, et cetera.
Is that all, Commissioner Anderson?
I
Did you have
guess
anything
my
else?
thought initially was like, is there a curb cut, or like not a curb, it's like a sidewalk ramp, I guess there, but anyway, that was mostly it.
Down by the MBT at our.
No, because right now I think on that sidewalk in front of that proposed entrance, there's not like a
No
sidewalk.
changes.
Yeah, no changes. Okay.
So yeah, let me, are you good?
Am I done?
Yeah, do you want to?
I think
That's okay.
also I wanted to be prepared for questions from neighbors about like, will there be requests for like handicap park or like reserved parking in front of the medical entrance? I imagine that might be something that comes up, but I may be thinking for too far in the future, but that may be something that, especially with like people using that area, I think has also become quite congested with vehicles because there are people who are driving to use the park. Just was curious if that is something that is planned.
So right now, there's like this loading dock structure that I think in practice serves as like 4 parking spots or something. I don't know. You want to kind of tell us the vision? I mean, you
Yeah.
could say no changes, but like, what's kind of the vision for that? Because at least there's going to be some kind of stairway or ramp or something going in for the
Well, I
lower
didn't
floor
understand that there's
egress, I
no
think.
zone ramp for the R
I
Street.
see, I see what's happening.
Oh,
here.
my
Okay.
mistake.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Is I'm-
Looking at it
If I'm not
closely,
understanding.
We're hoping to avoid having to put any risers in.
Okay.
The way that the street comes
Yeah.
down, it may be contiguous cross into the MedStar clinic. So we're looking at that closely. We don't have a resolution on that. But the intent is not to do anything with the loading dock areas,
Okay.
except for putting a few louvers above it, but that's
Yeah.
the extent of our work.
And there is a sidewalk there. It's hard to tell because there's like a dumpster there and a planter that is not supposed to be there and some other, you know, maybe some parked cars and everything, but there is a sidewalk from the MBT along the north side of our street there.
Right. I walk that
I
every day.
Yeah, me too.
The MedStar entrance is close to where the satellites are currently.
Yeah, and those
Yeah.
are slated to be removed.
That was one of my
But just kind of
questions.
forward
Excellent.
to Google Maps.
Tired of seeing them.
Right, because like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
it's not,
That's
it's the
where-
entrance
that's
is
where the
not
new
the
entrance is
MBT
gonna
entrance,
be,
it's like kind of
is
more
right
towards the
at that.
center of the building.
Okay.
I got you.
Right.
I know exactly.
All right, are there any other comment? I have a handful of questions.
I'll let you
so-
go first since I've been hogging before. I
Oh, okay.
have one really minor one.
Okay, no, just go ahead.
Do you have plans for that little corner opening on the MBT? Like, that's always something people are like, oh, it'd be cool, like little activation on the trail, but I
On-
understand that
On
it
the
doesn't.
MBT itself,
Yeah.
the former freight platform there.
Yeah.
That's not within scope.
Cool. Just want to check. Thanks.
Commissioner Anderson, did you have anything else?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right.
I will later.
So yeah, just so I'm clear here, the entrance, because I have open on, I guess it's slide. Is there a slide number? There aren't slide numbers, but
There are.
4, 5, okay.
It skips 6 and 7, 8.
7, 8, yeah, 8 doesn't show, but there should be. Okay, so on slide 8, where it says proposed west entrance. So if I'm reading this correctly, the plan is to add a new pedestrian entrance along 3rd Street and a pedestrian entrance along our street. Correct. Okay. For those sections, what is in scope for the exterior landscaping for those spaces?
Landscape in itself, or for, when do you mean by ramp and stairs, or do you mean by?
Just around the perimeter. Is there
The picture
anything
looks
in
like there's
scope
grass
that
now, and
changes?
it'll instead be pavement.
The intent is to try and keep it as the same grasses. The plantings that's up against the building will all be removed to allow more natural light to come down.
Okay, but as of now, like there aren't any trees or anything planned for that front. Is there a reason why that was not included?
It's in public space, so it's not in part of, in general, it's not part of our scope to do any work in public space, except for this one intervention for the ramp itself.
Okay, and I guess I'll ask DGS, what is the contingency on this project, and what is the use of the contingency subject to? You hold 15%, 20%. What's DGS's work?
This is his day job now.
Usually about 10%, but usually in an older building like this, right, we run into so many unforeseen conditions to where that just gets blown out of the water, right? Usually if you have some funds left over, we like to utilize for like a landscaping or something that the community may address or may want or something like that. But again, when you're dealing with these older buildings, typically once demo starts, you start to uncover tons of issues that you gotta address.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I personally would like to see something, especially if all the planting is going to be removed. The only challenge is that whole section in front and on the sides of the buildings, it's just used as a urination spot for dogs. Let's be realistic. And so it would be nice if there is a way to make that more pleasant for students who are coming to visit. And I should have started with this as well. I'm thrilled. This is an excellent project. I think there couldn't be a better use for the space to have young students come and learn and be a part of the community. And it's great that you have, MedStar and others who are willing to invest in helping the future of our country. So thank you for that. I think it would just be nice, when I see nice facilities that are in Upper Northwest, they have great plantings, they have great spaces. And so we really need to try to meet that need to make this a place that people want to come to, and that all around, wherever we can, I'll encourage, to do that. So I'm glad to see the satellite dishes are getting removed, because that has just been an eyesore for I can't tell on. And I also ride my bike past this every single day, so I am very familiar with it. And I, also endorse what the other commissioners have said about, seeing if we can, clean up but prevent vehicles from, getting access onto the MBT where there's a lot of output. So I love that you guys have, in some of the other sections, have been able to kind of keep the windows in like the style that matches what was existing. It makes it feel still historic, and I hope you'll consider keeping a lot of those components similar to that.
Very difficult to find the vendor to actually do that these days, but yes.
Yes. But it looks good, and I think it for the most part stays pretty true to its character. And yeah, this is my day job, so apologies. That's all I have for the moment. Again, I really appreciate, if there's anything we can do to kind of beautify the space at the same time. I appreciate it. So, Commissioner Anderson.
I promise.
Yes.
No, I think to build off of Commissioner Galvan's point too, I think as you may be familiar, air quality has been a concern in the neighborhood. So that like any like trees that we can add, I mean, obviously this facility is not contributing to that, but just to add on to the beautification, in addition to the beautification point, like we've been big advocates for adding more green, whether it be trees or green things to kind of assist with air quality.
Pollinator gardens, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it may be, especially considering that it's a medical space, bringing more children in the area. I think that would be highly supportive, and there may be grant funding available for it. I don't know.
I'd also caution a little bit though, that
Sure.
we don't want to plant too much tree wise or larger,
Sure.
because we want to bring as much natural light into the building as
Sure.
possible. So both on the south side and on the west side, where there's limited windows going down
Yeah.
into the clinics, into the waiting areas, et cetera. We'd like to be able to allow natural light to come down into there and have it inviting for the children and
Yeah.
the families who are coming in as well. So I think there's a balance being
Sure.
struck here, and we don't want Casey just throwing trees in.
Agreed. It needs to be planned by a landscape architect. So I totally agree.
Absolute fair point.
I think
So
there's a
whatever,
balance that could be-
absolutely.
Yes,
Just
certainly.
with that kind of leading into a park, I'll let you talk. But just, yeah.
Understood. Yes, Commissioner Bashir.
I'll let them have the last word, but I do want to thank you for presenting tonight and for staying. You know, if you're online, you may not know, they did sit through everything else we did tonight in order to present on this. And I also want to punctuate that they've been incredibly great neighbors.
Great.
That, you know, this was an abandoned building 3 years ago. They've been activating it in a way that works with the community, and you know, every question I have gets answered pretty fast. And they've also been very proactive about having community open houses with the space and getting to meet some of the students and seeing what they're doing, which I think Commissioner Galvan mentioned is like a big ask by a lot of people on education, that, you know, more skills-based education on important things, and where we have a big shortage. And you know, I'm just so grateful that this building, which has that historic National Geographic facade and has the mural that everyone arriving by train into Washington DC sees as they're pulling into Union Station, that we're able to preserve those things. And you know, we'll come up with kind of what we want to ask for in terms of MBT access, and maybe some trees on 3rd Street and some other sundry things, which, you know, I don't think you need our permission to do any of this, but so you being here is very appreciated. And, you know, you can do with our letter whatever you want to do with it, but at least that may reflect what people are asking for. And certainly any members of the community, if you've got concerns or ideas or suggestions, please send them to your commissioner and we'll make sure that they're considered. I promise to let you have the last word. So.
I have none, just gratitude. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for staying.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
for being here tonight and in the community.
Michelle.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our next item on the agenda, which is in other reports or presentations, Gail Kuhn, apologize if I mistake that, discussing the age-friendly block-by-block walking audit. Commissioner Jones, I believe, is that individual online? Yeah, I see.
Yes, Gail is on.
Great, thank you, Gail, for joining us. Go ahead, Commissioner Jones, or Gail, I'll let you discuss your item.
Well, I'm delighted to be with you tonight. I have the great opportunity to tell you about what's going to be happening in the future, but I want to give you a little bit of facts about what Age Friendly is about before I launch into why we're interested in talking to 5F and what Nicole did to get us on the agenda really makes me very happy. I live in DC as well. I have, for the last 13 years, been in the office of the Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services as the Age Friendly DC coordinator. In February, I left my role to move on with my life, and lo and behold, my replacement couldn't be hired because of the freeze, and as a consequence, as I came back and continued to do my work as a volunteer. And that's what I've been doing since March. And we've gotten a lot done. We did a nice job with livability survey this summer to learn about what people were thinking about this year living in DC. And you can learn more about that. But right now, what I want to do is to just bring your attention to the fact that we have been working with planning to make it possible for people to live, learn, work, and play in the District of Columbia, all of which you've been discussing tonight, as I have been here throughout your entire meeting, and I'm very aware that you are functioning in the age-friendly milieu and understand what I'm talking about. I was really pleased to see Nick Kushner here. Nick Kushner was my intern when I began my work, and you can see that his career from the Department of Recreation, where he was involved in developing Play DC, to moving over to OP to take on this comprehensive plan amendment. Well, I've been involved a long time and know a lot of people, so it's wonderful to be here. So I just wanted to ask Nicole if she would bring up the slides that I came with. And if Nicole can't do that, I can. But I really would appreciate it if somebody else did it.
Do you need assistance, Nicole?
Give me just 1 second. Okay.
That's pretty.
What are you seeing?
We are seeing your desktop. Oh, now we're seeing some slides.
Okay,
Yes, you are.
go
So,
ahead.
so I would just point out that this has been an effort that has been ongoing.
Yeah, Gail, can you, hold on, sorry.
Commissioner Jones, is there a different window? I'm seeing the speaker's notes, not the actual. Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Thank you. Sorry, Gail, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to bring your attention to the fact that this is a life course plan that is multi-sector. And the reason I'm bringing up those 2 points is the following. When you're born, you're growing older. And we care about the fact that life throughout that experience matters. And your discussion about the school really made me happy, because you're working on stuff that will enable, and the health of those who go to that school are going to benefit greatly from what's been happening across the street. So in addition to that, the life course issue is important, but multi-sector, this plan has 26 agencies across DC government involved with it. We are the biggest task force the mayor has. And as a consequence, when we have people who are put onto the task force, they're appointed by the mayor, and we have a lot of influence in terms of making agencies aware of things that need to happen. So Nicole, go to the next slide, and I'll slip into what we're going to be doing with age friendly. In 2014 and 2015, we did a block by block walk that covered over 1/3 of the city. We received funding from AARP to do a different kind of block by block walk, focusing on those areas that are particularly in need of attention. And we focused on wards 5, 7, and 8. And we will be walking those areas with teams who are from those neighborhoods, which is why it is I'm talking to you. We want to develop those teams single member district by single member district. We have selected 8 in Ward 5, Ward 7, and Ward 8. That is, there are a total of 24 that we will be walking. We need to get those teams moving ahead, even though we will now be walking in 2026 rather than in 2025, due to the fact that we don't yet have an age-friendly DC coordinator, because that position has not been filled because of the hiring freeze. In addition to that, we're disturbed and concerned about what's going on with the federal government, and the fact that people are uncomfortable walking in their own neighborhoods because of the fact that people may be picked off for reasons that we don't know. So we wanted to defer, and AARP willingly allowed us to defer the walk, although we're going to be doing all the planning before the end of October. So we're going to be working along very steadily and therefore need your attention. Go to the next slide. I'm trying to move quickly because you don't need more time on your agenda with things that are happening ahead. I wanted you to see that we selected the Ward 5, 7, and 8 single member districts to be walked by looking at the livability index that AARP provides. There's a walkability score that actually is a concept that was developed by the Environmental Protection Agency, and AARP picked up on that walkability score. Those that did not do well on the walkability score, we compared with those 311 complaints and how high they were from those particular ANCs. And as you will see, when we went through that selection, 5F04 was one of those that fell into the category. So we want to talk with 5F04, but we wanted you to be aware generally for the following reason. You know people. They're not necessarily living in your own single member district. You know people who live throughout Ward 5 and probably in Ward 7 and Ward 8. We need to populate these teams, and in order to populate these teams, we need to talk to people in those single member districts. So we will be going to meetings like yours tonight in order to bring your attention to the fact that we want to get this done again in October. That's coming up very quickly now. So look at these numbers, these single member district numbers. Think about where your friends live, your colleagues, your contacts, and if you have any that you would like to have my contact information presented to, by all means present it to them, and we will get them involved in the teams. And if you go on to the next slide, I just want you to know that we're looking for high schools in the particular single member districts that we're talking about, because we want to get the high school students involved in being scribes. So while the team will be looking at safety and walkability in a particular neighborhood, the students will be the reporters to 311. We're involved with the Office of Unified Communication, and they will be reporting to us as well as to the Department of Transportation on any sites that we find, so we can time how things get done and how quickly they're done. So there are lots of other things we're looking to do. It's too late for you to be thinking about what you can do to help us as well, but we certainly want you to look at this slide. And if there's something else that occurs to you, we would welcome your insight about things that you would like to see done as we do these walks. So with that, I'll take you to the next slide and note to you that my home address, can you see? It's Dale Cone. It's ice cream cone, just in case you needed that pronunciation so you could remember it.
Thank you.
Address is there, but there will be an age-friendly DC coordinator. Hopefully next month, hopefully the hiring freeze will be lifted, and I will be just a volunteer and helping that person to do the job that needs to be done. Are there questions, comments?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. Thank you so much, Gail. So I am the ANC for the single member district 5F04.
I'm
And
aware of that from tonight's conversations.
yeah, so I'm excited and happy to help out where I can.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think there is, I've done lots of walking, lots of biking around the neighborhood on a daily basis with a kid strapped to me. So I'm
Yay.
pretty familiar with how to get around and what the issues are, and maybe some folks who may be interested as well. So
Oh,
I saw your email. We'll connect and engage on this. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the best news I've heard tonight.
Go ahead. Yeah, Commissioner Song.
So thank you for that. It's really exciting that like walkability is a huge issue, especially in as you've seen, like in parts of Ward 5, where sidewalks are impassable sometimes, especially for those with mobility challenges. What I was wondering is, like, in additional parties you're polling in, like, is this supposed to feed into further citywide action in terms of prioritization of resources? Or is it supposed to be more like we're going to mobilize some forces and just raise awareness about specific kind of sections of.
I will answer that by noting to you that when we did the block by block walk in 2014, the Department of Transportation received funds, both in the capital and the operating budget, to make sidewalks as important as streets in terms of repairs. Now we know that faded. Can you imagine? Vaccines fade, so do ideas. And in this case, we have a situation where sidewalks have become less important than street and potholes. And as a consequence, we're hoping that we can revive the focus that DDOT has through the budget, because they'd like to do more work for sure if they had more resources to make that happen. So it's really important for us to bring attention to this. As for what you just said, we're just doing 24. My goodness, last time we did way over 150 of the single member districts when we walked in 2014. So we're hoping that other single member districts will decide that they want to put their shoulder against the idea of doing a block by block walk as well, so that we can get more information into 311, so that DDOT has awareness of even more single member district needs than those that we're walking. Does that help you?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I move to extend the time of adjournment from 9:30 to 9:45.
Yes.
Seconded.
Yeah, seconded. Any objections? None known. All right, we will extend the time. How much time?
9:45.
9:45, another 15 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Gail, did you have anything else?
No, I think.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
Except that I would love to know when the next meeting that you'd like me to be at. So let me know.
Yeah, so our next meeting is October 21st, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct.
That's your meeting, and what I'm interested in is the 5F04, right?
You mean like a single member district meeting?
Mhm.
I do not have single member district meetings personally. Yeah, fortunately, I don't have capacity is the real answer. But I will engage with you, and then maybe we can chat separately.
I think
Okay.
Commissioner has a
That's
question.
great.
So just a quick comment. I'll make it really fast. Thank you so much for this work. I mean, I know this isn't under the auspices of age-friendly EC, but I think, as Commissioner Gavin mentioned, walkable streets are used by all of us. And it's been a big priority for this commission to make, especially, I think the important thing about Commissioner Galvan's SMD is that it straddles Edgewood and Eckington, and that we've worked a lot, or at least as a commission, we prioritize trying to connect those two neighborhoods and kind of traffic calming and those types of things. So hopefully this is another avenue to continue to press for traffic calming and other pedestrian safety measures. So thank you so much for doing this work. I know it's
More you
not
get
work,
promotion
but it's
from
really
us,
important.
Yes,
The more you get promotion from us, the better it is for all of us. So we'd love to talk about that. Yeah.
totally agree. Well, thank you so much, Gail. Appreciate your time tonight.
Good
We'll
night.
be-
I'm going to go eat dinner now.
Bon appetit.
Gail.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Thank you, Commissioner Jones, for adding Gail to the meeting, Ms. Cohn. We'll move right along. Committee and task force updates. I will provide the update for the Alcohol and Cannabis Licensing Committee since Ms. Coughlin is not available tonight, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think she's on. There's a handful of different renewals that are ongoing for alcohol licensing. Metro Bar, do drop in. Chair Coughlin is going to reach out to the different SMD commissioners to see if there's any community feedback. And then as I'm aware, Max has a new ownership, correct?
Yeah, I'll be meeting with them Saturday at 1 o'clock. All are welcome. This is at 401 Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. They're, and you don't need to wait for us, they're open now under new management.
Yeah.
And they're
join you
looking
that.
for an hours change, which I will have to look and see whether it's within the bounds of the settlement agreement, because we do have a settlement agreement with them.
Commissioner Jones.
I don't remember that off the top of my head.
Understood. Yes, Commissioner Jones, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Commissioner Bishop Henchman. Can you say what the event was or
Sorry, it's just meeting with the new ownership of Max
Wine and liquor
at Third and
fourth in Rhode Island.
Fourth in Rhode Island. This Saturday at 1 o'clock. They are looking for an hours change, and I just pulled up the settlement agreement, and it would involve revising the settlement agreement.
Yeah. Okay.
Which
I think they want to be open till midnight, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. From currently 10:30 p.m., 10 p.m.
The settlement agreement allows 10. They've historically closed a lot earlier than that, so looking to go to midnight to match another establishment.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving along, we'll go to Public Safety and Health Committee updates. I think Chair Aaron Price also is not available. However, he did provide an email update.
I have it pulled up.
Go ahead. Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I hope you're all doing well. There's a good chance that I will not make the meeting tonight, so I wanted to provide you an update from the PSH committee. Thank you to Commissioner Jones, Galvan, and Caroline for tabling on behalf of ANC 5F and our PSH committee at the NOMA Bid NOMA in Color Mira Festival. I heard it was a great opportunity to connect with neighbors, and I encourage Commissioners Jones and Galvan to share their experiences. The next event that they will be tabling is NOMA Bid's Pumpkin Palooza event on October 22nd from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Louisiana Park. Anyone interested in helping to table, please contact me, i.e. Daniel Aaron Price, for details. Third point, the Public Safety and Health Committee unanimously passed 2 resolutions that hopefully have been voted through by commissioners tonight. One being the resolution supporting B260226, Place-Based Substance Abuse Disorder Outreach Amendment Act, and the other a resolution on rodent control, abatement, and mitigation. Sincere gratitude goes out to the group of community members who came to ANC 5F meeting a few months ago and laid out a very specific and solution-oriented ways in which rodent abatement could and should occur in neighborhoods across DC. We took all your points and extrapolated them into this resolution, and we'd love for the neighbors that are experiencing other public safety and or public health issues to do the same. A huge shout out goes to Lucas Saboski, who laid all the groundwork for this resolution. The committee talked through our next resolution, and Commissioner Jones will be drafting it on the moment we are currently connected in related to the federal takeover of DC, threat to home rule, and federal agents in our neighborhoods. More to come. I applaud all the commissioners who quickly scheduled a special meeting to pass vital resolutions related to the moment we are currently living in. Our next Public Safety and Health Committee meeting will be this Thursday, September 18th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in the Judd and Wheeler Eckington Community Room with a virtual option to join, accessible on ANC 5F's website. And lastly, and most importantly, my public safety and public health tip for our neighbors is join Free DC for an orientation training on knowing your rights and organizing for autonomy as the District of Columbia. Go to their website, freedcproject.org, and find a ton of resources, upcoming events, opportunities to rally and volunteer, and important information that you can distribute to your neighbors. Look out for one another. Thank you so much, and please reach out if you have any questions or concerns.
Great. Thank you so much, Commissioner Sani. We'll move along to Transportation and Public Spaces Committee. Commissioner Sani.
Yeah, back at it. So we had a really good, we took August off as the ANC and we reconvened in September. We had a decent amount of public comment, most of which came from referrals from ANC meetings where we said, go to our TAPS meeting, please, and chat over with people who can like dig in, and people did, and it was great. Awesome. We collected feedback regarding concerns following the Dave Thomas Circle redesigns around driver behavior and blocking the box and doing other unsafe behaviors that they'd like to, the neighbors are concerned about and have been endangered by. And so we're going to start drafting something this month. And also Commissioner Headland was in attendance, and so she was participating in that. And I want to rope in any of the commissioners on that side of Eckington. I think Commissioner Bishop has been historically involved in that, just to kind of see if there's a best way to kind of get these concerns out in the forefront before DDOT kind of wipes their hands clean of the project and it becomes more of a traffic safety versus sign-off sort of thing. Additionally, we received concerns about driver behavior at 3rd and V Street. And so one of our commissioners is going to be, one of our committee members is going to be working on like a speed hump resolution and then running it by the local commissioners to get additional feedback on environmental concerns that may exist there. One of the other questions we received a lot on is like bike share docks and where they can go and where they can't go. Right now, the answer is they can't go anywhere because that funding has been frozen. So only docks that have already been earmarked are able to get installed, and docks can be replaced if they fall out of service, but no new locations can come up under the current budgetary circumstances. So that I think just further underscores as we see development come across our plate and their community benefits that we negotiated, we may want to lean on bike share as a benefit, just because seeing skyrocketing growth and like is definitely helpful in getting people to places where that is not served by traditional other forms of transit like buses and or metro rail. We passed a stop sign resolution, which ANC 5F unanimously approved, so thank you for that. And then a couple of, I think, announcements of events that are transportation related. Sunday, September 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern at Tanner Park is the Family Bike Fest. It's a cool place to go and see and try out different, if you see people with kids on bikes, like all those devices, and you get to go on test rides. There's going to be food. There will be a little entertainment. It's a very crowded use of the park, which is really awesome seeing that activation. But leading into that, Ward 5 Family Biking is doing a family bike ride starting at 10 a.m. from Reservoir Park and ending at Tanner Park. So it's a great marshaled ride. Usually MPD is present to help provide an escort. And it's a good way for kids to kind of get out on a road that's normally inhospitable to them and just enjoy life. And then also next week is Ward 5 week. The event I want to highlight specifically is on Thursday, September 18th. Where Councilmember Parker's office is doing inaugural bike ride on this almost completed section of the Metropolitan Branch Trail that leads up to Tacoma Park. They'll be meeting at 5 p.m. at the Tacoma Park Metro and then riding south on the MBT all the way down to Metro Bar, where it will end with the happy hour. The event is supposed to go from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. All are welcome, and all of those details are on Councilmember Parker's website at ward5.us. That is the TAPS update.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Any questions from commissioners? Moving right along, we will go to, thank you, Commissioner Sani. We will go to Zoning and Development Committee. Mr. Stone, who I don't believe is online. Do you have any updates?
No update beyond what I already said about the golf thing and the resolution.
Great. Thank you for your hard work on that effort, putting that resolution together. Moving on to Library Task Force. I do have an update. It looks like we are waiting on a response from DC Public Library about a response to a letter that came from the task force, and they are currently trying to engage. Oh, thank you, Commissioner Anderson, for updating the website with their new dates for their meeting times. But they're looking to do some visits to other public libraries in DC proper to see if there are some good suggestions at those locations to maximize ideas and flexibility at the potential new spot. I don't believe that there's been a lot of movement, probably because the locations are tied up in developments that have not moved recently. So, but still TBD right now. The second Tuesdays still work. So the next meeting, I believe, would be Tuesday, October 14th. And that the following meeting would be November 12th. That's all we have. I do not have any appointments to committees or task forces. Anything from commissioners? All right, we are adjourning right on our
I move to
adjusted
adjourn.
time.
Seconded.
All right, this meeting has adjourned at 9:44 p.m. Thank you all for your time and patience. It's one of our longer meetings. Have a great evening.
Next meeting on October
Thank you.
21st.
Meeting's October 21st.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks.